like it is about time to get into Beastie and FEH versus Avali and Urk.
And here we go. Game number 1 about to commence. Just a loading screen away, and there we go. Malians and French versus Malians and the Rus. And I'm not sure about you. Do you hear in-game sound?
I do now.
There we go.
There it is.
There we go.
Yeah, he put a little bit of vodka in his headphones to clean it out. That's obviously what happened. Yes, welcome back, folks. Final series of the day. And, well, as you're probably going to get confused, we should point out that this is Team Feasty versus Team Uvali. At least that is what we've given the name. Or do you prefer the other one for Feasty? I'll let you choose.
Beefy is just such a nostalgic thing for me, because it always used to be like the go-to snack that children get like packed in their school lunch.
All right, well, so Beefy versus Uvali. Let's go.
There we go. And we do have Beastie representing the Malian as the Malian Prince, and on the other side as the color teal, FEH, Iron Age, as the French. And yeah, both teams so far spawning in here on Dry Arabia, not too far apart from each other. On the opposite side, Avali playing as the Rus and Urk playing as the Malians as well. So the civilization split between the players is pretty much exactly as anticipated, with Avali playing the Rus. Just one of his main civilizations in the game overall. Not too sure how Urk is on Malians, but then again, Malians are one of the easiest civilizations in the game, so it's probably not a hard learning curve for him. If he hasn't played them too much.
I think
Beastie, quite known for his Malian.
Yes, he should know him inside and out by now. I was about to say on the Malians, I mean, you say that, with what we just saw from Louis in the last game, I think everyone's reassessing the litmus test, right? The limits of the Malians. And sure, they might be easy to do a decent amount with, but almost was like what we witnessed in that last series. So much still to explore in these team environments.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with the Malians. Now, School of Cavalry. No surprise that we're not going to see here Chamber of Commerce early on.
Well, I think we're never going to see that. There was the best part is, like, I remember Beastie. He done his like patch analysis when they first made that change where you generate them for free. He's like, I think this will be very good. And I remember, like, I done my patch analysis and I said, I think this is really, really bad. And then
is it a Chamber of Commerce unique technology? I think the trading thing is like, you only need a market. It's just an Imperial Age tech, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, the big deal was that you were going to generate traders for free, but it was going to take time. And I remember, like, I listened to BC, I was like, am I just wrong? And within 2 weeks, I was like, no, we were spot on with this. The Chamber of Commerce is not working. So I think it maybe needs another revamp.
Sometimes it actually is working. I've seen it quite a couple of times, like, working out well, especially on maps like Lipany, for example, where it's quite easy to wall. It's a different kind of playstyle with French, for sure, because when you go for that, usually you don't start off with knights, you start off with spearmen and archer, in order to defend against like spearmen or horsemen, or like really fast units from your opponent that try to get across.
My thought, though, is like, especially in team environments, typically the games can go longer, right? Pop cap seems more realistic.
In team games, it's really important to have that School of Cavalry. Just get that knight out really early, because there's always the potential of your enemies getting knights out early, and you need to have something to respond to that. If one player goes for the School of Cavalry and the other one doesn't, then that one player is just going to be shit out of luck.
Well, it's substantially more than that as well than what it first appears, because you have to remember, the School of Cavalry gives you a unique advantage in the production speed on stable units that you will miss out on. Exactly. Like, that's always been my kind of pet peeve. I almost feel like if you move that as a default behavior, or at least gave half the value by default to French, we might see more Chamber of Commerce players.
That's true. That's true. I mean, if you look at it in one way or the other, like English, they get a council hall that's an arch range that produces twice as fast. What if they just copy that for the School of Cavalry, a stable that produces twice as fast? Now, maybe that's a little bit broken. It could dramatically increase the timing from that first knight to arrive, but...
Worst thing to say in your job interview for Relic. They're like, what? Yeah, but I get where you're coming from. Like, maybe it could be like something a little bit different. I think if not, at the very least, I would expect that speed upgrade to exist as a tech in Imperial Age or something. It's just silly that it doesn't.
I'm gonna say something that people are gonna hate me for. Like, French and English, they're so similar, right?
Here we go. I mean, that's only because, like, we spent most of history screwing each other over in our attempts for world domination. So, yeah.
Both have a keep as their Imperial Age landmark. That's fair.
Dude, I love, like, honestly, like, when you look at history, most of English and French history is just finding ways to give the other the middle finger.
For a reason.
Like, yeah, we look, should own each other. No, we can't. Okay, well, well, look, the colonies are rebelling. Let's fund them. Oh, what's that? You want to take over Spain? Let's get in the way of that. Like, it's literally just a back and forth affair. But this,
yeah, it's kind of hilarious when you look at the scale of it, and it's just like, oh yeah, this is an island. This is a very small piece of land. Then you look a little bit more to the east, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, the entire rest of the globe is under one empire's rule.
Well, you'll see that empire later in the series. We only got the Francais for the time being, but they are proving a nuisance for the Malian player. Assistance is going to come out from Avali in the form of the Gremlins. But I don't like this fight. You're outnumbered heavily here.
Yeah, and just where are the numbers right now from Urki? It looks like he hasn't made a stable yet. He's instead them straight for barracks, so he's making Donzos right now. This is a very weird timing. I'm wondering what's going on here right now. What is going on behind this? Is he, like, what upgrades is he getting? What has caused this massive delay for the first Donzo to arrive at the 6-minute mark?
I mean, you're losing these fights with the Donzo like this. You send him in, he dies. This is the worst part. It's the fact that by the looks of it, BC is on point with his buffering, right? He keeps sticking the warrior scouts in the way, and of course they can heal up. If these knights take damage, it's a different matter. Or mining camp to 3. Stealing the deer. They're shutting down the gold. They forced, by the way, Urk to go really far of his base. Look where his secondary gold vein was. They can just wrap around and torch that as well.
Yeah, that's definitely potential there. And, I mean, this is a big issue right now for Team Urkely because they're just massing their units really, really slowly right now and losing out on the deer pack in the middle and that going all the way over to their opponent is going to be quite huge. There are a couple of red dots out on the map from Avali there. Looks like Avali also went for pro scouts, which is interesting as the ruse here. That's usually the job of the warrior scout player.
That's the thing, right? Like, when you're up against Malians as well on the other side, like, unless you are a Malian player, it feels like you never go pro scouts because you can't run away. Funnily enough, they kind of can.
It's 10 warrior scouts on the map right now, which allows BC to take deer from multiple deer spots at the same time. And BC is going to be, like, one of those players which has enough micro potential to pull that off.
I said it before. You want to go with Beefy. I want to call them a feasty because it really is feast or famine when you see moments like this. And right now, they are feasting.
He's getting a lot of Beefy, so that's what I'd say.
That comes later from the Malians. We'll get there, don't you worry. Like, even night numbers, like, this is the other thing I hate. Like, I don't think you can ever win as a Roost player against the Knights on even numbers because they're the bonus damage, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, Urk, he is scaling his army right now. He's getting more Donzos out. He's making javelin throwers. He's making archers. The question is, in mass, how is it gonna scale? Because I feel like Beastie, he's gonna nail the timing for his Castle Age, right? Like, he just has the macro down. He will have a good Castle Age time behind this, and once he gets to Castle Age, he's gonna have access to better javelin throwers, depending on if he opts into making them. Now, javelins, they are quite expensive, but definitely still an option for him.
It's also the efficiency of the other armies on the side of Beefy, because both of them have healing on the cavalry. Speaking of the cavalry, they arrive just in time to mess with the wall-in plans. And you're already showing signs of weakness when you have to wall in like that, right? Like, you're already kind of forfeiting that you don't have much control. And whether Avali is going to try to change that script, we'll move in. Should be able to snipe down 2 villagers here.
Yeah, 2 villagers do go down. Some value gained. I mean, they also did lose a couple of villagers, but there we go. Farim Garrison, beautiful timing here right now.
And remember, Urk can't match this. Look at the size of their army. They heavily invest in a feudal. I wonder if they're going to be going Fulani. I feel like they have to if they want to stand a chance against this. But how do you get there now with the Farimba timing?
Villager doesn't get picked up. An attack animation gets cancelled. That's rough, but cause a little bit of idle time at least. But that knight is low HP, and those warrior scouts will be faster and will be able to take that knight down. Oh no.
Classic. You think you've clicked far enough away.
Surely my opponent won't chase me all the way.
No, he'd stop, right? Like, he has to go back. He'd do something else. Why would he want to murder my face? Turns out Avali's face is very murderable.
Iron Age right now just doing a solid job with the knight numbers right now, and wondering if behind this he's also going to be looking for Castle Age, just because he is very likely also getting a lot of these deer.
Most definitely has. Another wave gets in. Nothing that Avli could do. His timing seemed to be slightly off there. So sure, they might be able to protect like 2, maximum 3 deer stacks, but then the rest, you have to feel it go in the way of Beefy, especially with BC looking beefy up in that castle age.
More spearmen out on the field now. Knights getting picked off here. Getting body blocked quite heavily.
That return fire was not what they're looking for. These javelin throwers trying to give pursuit. They'll get the scout at least, maybe. Second wave injured.
Oh, there we go, yep.
He wiggles out, though. And Urk, he wasn't able to get the surround. That was key there. If they manage to trap FE, this game starts to look grim, even with BC's position. But now, getting out like that means they're going to be very strong for timing about 2 minutes from now.
Yeah, behind this Urk, he's still making a lot of javelin throws. Now, javelin throws are quite nice. They have very high base damage. Oh, Knights have to run away now. But yeah, that's a big army right now from Urk, but I mean, Castle Age upgrades are going to be coming in for BSD. And he does have the perimeter behind it, so military production is going to be very nice for them.
I am still a bit surprised Avli went for the Pro Scouts play. I mean, Pro Scouts, it's a little bit dear, isn't it? You can hate me now. It is a very pricey tech, though. Like
I got a colleague just like you.
I mean, but it's all seriousness, though. It's a very pricey tech when you're meant to be in a Knights race, in an arms race, right? Like, it's just you kind of giving an edge over to a Civ that already has better Knights.
Oh, this could be rough, though.
Ooh.
The TC is full. And if the javelin throws, they can tank. They can tank that TC fire up for quite a bit.
They're doing it right now. And the pressure, like, where do you go now? FE has nowhere to run. Look at the villagers on the side! Run! Army a bit slow to respond. I mean, these are archers into javelin throwers. You can't even win that fight underneath your teammate's TC.
Yeah, and that's really, really rough right now. The Knights are going to take some good engagements here against the javelin throwers. There's not too many of them remaining right now. Knights also getting pinched by FEH's Knights.
Oh, man.
Archers firing against javelin archers, javelin throwers, but a lot of the Dunzo count has gone down now.
Yes, and the key thing there is Avali, he wanted to snipe the villagers. That opened up a wipe of Urk's army. If they kept tight there and just neglected the villagers for another 30 seconds, I can't imagine a world in which they pushed them out of the French base. But instead, they felt the greed. Avali felt like he needed to shrink the eco, and all of a sudden, they're buffered back, now behind on military.
Yeah, and I mean, in the end, what did they get out of that? They lost their military advantage, and now they're even in eco. It's not even like they're really ahead. It's just even. They didn't kill too many villagers. Now, that was a lot of idle time, granted. And behind this, Avali is ahead quite a bit when it comes to night numbers.
That's going to be a few going down. They were heavily injured already. It looks like he's going to try to stand his ground for the time being, but look at this. FE adding in the Horsemen. A surprising addition.
The idle time on the gold was too big for him there. Looks like he's already done with his first gold as well.
They need to get some map control. You need to do it fast. Urk now coming in the second wave. You have to wonder, where's Beastie? I think his troops are on the way. A decent amount of archers, and Beastie doing what I think he loves to do almost more than any other player, which is once you have that castle age, it's time for relics.
The relics on the map already have been taken by Beastie, so looks like he already has 3 right now.
I can't see a world in which he doesn't hoover up at least 5 here. I mean, nobody is going to reach Castle Age anytime soon to follow him up.
And Urk's a little bit of position there. So is Avali.
Opportunity to try and snipe on the arms.
Yeah, needs to run through that wall.
Just about make it in time before the Knights fully touch. They'll get a few. Not really the wall up he's looking for. There's an opportunity to actually turn onto Avali here as well. His Knights are out of position trying to get back.
Yeah, he does have a really large Knight number, though.
Is there poison arrows to Beastie? It must be close to done, if not done.
I'm not sure if he already has it. He did invest quite heavily into Scholars.
The way he's running, it seems like he might.
He does have it.
Okay, that's dangerous. Avali, like, remember also, these are Castle Age archers. You are Feudal Age. You are already going to take substantial damage compared to what you should. So, dangerous position, and even worse now for him. Look at this. FE is going to reach up into Castle Age. This is a huge edge. Avali needs to find a way of using his Knight Mass to his advantage, and he needs to do so quick.
Exile's proving to be quite valuable here for these villagers. Means that the Knights are going to take quite a couple more hits in order to take them down. Means outposts will go up. And now the Knights from Everly, they're on the run.
They'll run towards BC's side. They're looking for a soft underbelly to this beast. Might be a difficult one to find. The way he's kind of split isn't really exposing much eco. Although I think he's got some running back home now.
Urk has a quite nice army right now. Lots of Javelins, lots of Thunzers. If he gets up to cast stage, this could be really nice. And now it's Surround coming in with the Knights here.
Do you even feel like this was good for him? I feel like Avali lost that fight.
Yeah, I feel like if it weren't for the reinforcements coming back, then, or the main army coming back, it would have been quite nice there for Avali. But the way it worked out in the end was he lost a lot of Knights for that.
Now he's playing wide, he's buying time. But FE isn't resting on his morals here. He's going to charge in. Needs to be careful. Plenty of Donzos around. But if he goes right here, I believe there's about 15 villagers on gold from Avali.
Yeah, sharing the gold mine there, and Knights
he's going to
definitely find that.
Movement
there
in.
it is.
Shuffle away, but where do you run? There's nowhere safe. The Donzos are behind you. Bloodsport is ahead. FE knows that's at least 10 villies.
If he goes for the Stealth Forest, then maybe he can like bait them a little bit.
No shot.
Juke them out a little bit.
No,
he's going past it.
And now he's dead. He knows it as well. Cuts off a few. Will to cut them down. Donzo's a gap closing. Nice retreat. Finally, Avali goes back on himself. But it costs him, and these Knights, they're still at large.
Yeah, the Knights definitely... I mean, they did take a little bit of a beating, but overall, they're still looking good. And now Grenfell Lanniker has come in. Actually, a keep here from Beastie gets spotted by 3 Knights, and he's not canceling because he knows he's getting the archers there that are on the way. So the keep will, in the end, very likely go up. And Beastie being on point here now with the micro of like individual army groups and making sure that all of his sides where he wants to be protected are going to be protected.
Avali's still being hunted back of his base. He did go for that second TC, and he's attempted a full wall in, but it's going to take him so long to clean up these Knights. And also keep in mind, at any stage right now, if he turns around, Avali loses half of his Knights. He does not win this fight, and it just happened. The encirclement, I'm pretty sure Avali's about to go down maybe close to single digits.
A lot of these Knights going to... Oh my god, that was
a
big loss for Avali.
Still these naked horsemen, right? Like, he's not bothering to upgrade them, but they're cannon fodder. And so many premium Knights still alive. You can't help but feel Avali, he needs to find a way of teching up, but with losses like that, you also need to find a way of rebuilding your army.
Yeah, he just needs to keep the Knights that he has right now to stay alive and tech up behind that. It's going to be a little bit tough for him, but now the Javelin throwers, in theory, could be looking good. Yeah, if he needs to... Yeah, there we go. Line formation, that's where the Javelin throwers shine.
And even in the retreat with the 6-star range, they slap a few more on the way out. So BC forced to retreat. Just really needs to join up with FE. FE, if he takes a 2-on-2 engagement, I don't see how Avali's able to contribute anymore.
It looks like FE helps Beastie there in one of those fights, and it looks like FEH and Beastie might be cleaning up Urk's army there. The Javelin throwers. At the same time, Avali getting some raids in.
Yeah, but there's not enough archers here to guard. And they're looking to breach through, but the walls are up, of course. Mass cavalry, not the quickest torch through, but speaking of mass cavalry, he's still in the back of the base this entire time.
Behind us at some point, both Avali and FEH, they've both gone for a second TC.
Mate, I was about to have a heart attack there when I saw those villagers running out, with Walk being distracted on the front side, but quick fingers make good work here. Able to keep them out on both sides, minimize casualties. As Fulani is known about, so they have to feel that they have to press, right? You can't just sit back or you're going to realize that extra income passively for the Southern team.
Yeah, it's not just the fact that they have the passive income. They also have more economic units out on the field right now.
And they're in with the army. They finally met up, and this is dangerous territory. Remember, Avali is still only using feudal knights.
But he is getting some good raids in every now and then, but Beastie, he's so patient with keeping his army there.
Yes. And meanwhile, Urk is starting to feel the pressure. He's trying to leave these javelins each time. He baits in Spearman, Donzo. It's a thin line. Not as healthy as you'd like. Knight's trying to engage. It's going to force the commitment out of FE. He takes the front side. Meanwhile, attempt to wrap around from Avali. Looks like it's going to be a decent success. But still, the poison damage is adding up. Defensive advantage is going to be there. And Urk with enough javelins here to make sure that it's a win for them.
Yeah, the Javelins being microed quite efficiently here against all of these archers means that the army here is getting cleaned up. Overall, though, BC and FEH, Team Beefy, they still have the military lead right now, but this did close the gap by quite a bit.
Nico is quite close, but of course we would expect Avali to maybe kind of troll ahead of it. But then you have to remember he's up against Effie on 2 TCs. And it's crazy to think, if it wasn't for those raids where they dove the primary TC, how big could the French eco be at this stage?
Spot that. They spot the villagers on gold there.
Uh-oh.
Beastie's moving towards that. Averly at the same time getting some raids in as well. But you can really tell, like, Feudal Age Knights against villagers with textiles. There we go. That's a big...
Yeah, it hurts so much more because the Knights have to chase. You just stand your ground. And this is half. Like, half will probably like to die here. Ook, nice little trap. Pinches a few in. Does let him go. So we'll get out. But a pricey exchange for Ook.
Oh, the wall isn't finished.
What?
The wall there on the front isn't finished. FEH might just dive in.
I think they will, especially if the tech up comes through. Okay, secondary walls going up. Avali able to protect both sides. Barely, though. That was dangerous territory, especially considering that Avali is right now teching up. It's a lot of resources that could have been invested in a defending army.
Yeah, he is aging up with the high trade house. What's that going to be? I feel like it's going to be probably like similar to the last one, 120.
I would say 160. I think it's a bit better.
Yeah, he does have a lot of bounty, right? So he sent bounty tier 3.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of woodline left as well. We'll find out. Vodka is drunk. He forgot where he left the high trade. No, I'm kidding. Calculating.
Yeah, we'll come back to that one in a minute.
Yeah, sorry, we baited him. Vodka's like idiots. You have to wait a minute. Okay. Vodka is always right. Don't forget it, folks. By the way, Sacred Site is still ticking down. I know it's hard to see, but just squint your eyes and then really move your eyeballs towards your screen. You'll see behind that 0 lies an 8-minute clock.
Yeah, so 8 minutes remaining on that Sacred Site, and there's keeps on every single one of them.
This ain't going to be easy, especially when you look at the army they've built up. Like, you know, the amount of javelins there, knights as well. Neither of these units are great for dealing with the keeps. They haven't got any siege either. The map's a bit too big, and we're too early in the game for that.
And now boiling all in as well.
I don't...
Is he still going to sacrifice it for the TCAP?
Do you even get it? I don't
That's
think...
That's the question, right?
Maybe? With one knight left?
Oh, yeah, I think he gets a decap potentially, but at any one point, BC can just like pull villagers.
Oh my god, BC. There we go. Oh, he teases him. He keeps him around long enough to think he can get it. Avali, that is a pricey loss for nothing gained.
Yeah, lots of knights that go down there now. Urk does make up for it a little bit with the army count that he has. 44 javelin throws. That's enough in order to deal significant damage, even to Royal Bloodline Knights. That's
true, but if Effie gets time to build up to like 25-30, I don't know if I like his chances here. Need to be careful about the timing. I'm going to try to push forward a little, but I'm really just looking at this as Urk is trying to contribute everything, but Avali has been kind of reduced to ruin here. That play on the Sacred Site just guaranteed that. Now down to just 13 knights.
And we talk about the outpost that FEH has placed next to his gold mine. That's a beautiful NPC base. Oh, like every single outpost with like multiple tiles between the gold.
He's playing tower defense games right now. Avali. It was like, okay, I guess I'm going to need to get something out of these knights. They're dead either way. He'll get nothing for it. Ram's now being built up by Beastie as they look to breach Avali's base. A beautiful read. He's the weak player. Urk trying for the flank.
It's a large army right now from Urk. Definitely could be a way back into the game with all of these Donzos and these javelin throwers.
Effie's not moving.
Donzo's getting the... There we go. One knight immediately down.
Luckily, he reacts just in time. 2 seconds more, and that would have been half the knights at least dead. Rams are, of course, going to be dead. But remember, this is all just pushing pressure to keep them away from the Sacred Site. 6 minutes remaining. All right, BC, we get it. You win a lot of money in tournaments. You can flaunt it around. I get it.
It's another keep up on the Sacred Site there. And yeah, now that's 2 keeps on the Sacred Site.
If you dive this, you lose, right?
Yeah, you can't dive that.
They're baiting him in. Does he realize that Urk? Yeah. Discipline.
He must. Yeah, he's coming back. It looks like Avali's making some ramps now.
No, Avali, we've been here before. Don't do this again. Please, think of the children. Those knights, the families that they have at home.
Maybe if you just keeps a ram there. On the corner of the Sacred Site.
You're a cruel, cruel, cruel man. And that is the 4... Oh, jeez. BC is just a step ahead in every regard in this game.
This is going to be really big position-wise. It means that his infantry is going to be stealthed in the front line.
Maneuvering. They're just playing patrol guard right now. Don't let anyone through. Has to cancel, though. Is forced to do so, so Fort Huntress will be delayed as he realizes that actually Urk's entire army is on its way here.
That is a large army. Like, Urk alone is basically able to match the army count from both of his opponents right now.
He has to. I mean, Avali, he's up to 18 knights, but it just really does not compare to the 35 premium, royal-blooded knights of the French.
Exactly. He does have a lot of Dunzos, but now they're moving over towards that sacred site. They definitely looks like they want to recap one of them really soon now. There's only 4 minutes remaining right now.
No, this is just elegant. The way that Beastie and Effie have linked up for this. They're going to force the dive in under the keep. They won't be able to get rid of it, and that's just a fight that Urk, I don't think he really wants to take. It could cost him the entire army, but it's his only choice.
Yeah, if you don't go for it here, then when are you going to go for it? Because Imperial Age is going to be coming in. Then it's going to be worse and worse. And there we go.
He's not pulling back. They're standing their ground right now. Mistakes made there. Finally reacts to spin and move forward, but the Knights already got their first nibble, and they won't let go. And that is going to be the front line quickly gone. Archer's enough here to guarantee that Urk's entire army is going to be grounded to dust.
Dunzo's also just getting stuck there. That's a lot of...
That's everything.
That's a lot of militia. But yeah, the military.
Like, what do you do with that? I think you get blocked here. Oh my, he's heading north. Really, the only play here was potentially heading south and trying to decap. But these sacred sites...
also Ably lost all of his knights behind that as well.
They lost everything. Like, this is pretty much game. Even if they stop the tech up, Beastie's laughing right now. He's having a great time. Sacred sites have successfully been protected. They cannot get a decap anywhere. They have no army to repel with anymore. It's just a countdown to death.
And with that, Imperial Age is going to be finishing up now.
What have you got left to fight for here?
Look at that. The Archers in stealth mode.
Disgusting. And GG. As expected, the moment it comes through, you know you're done. What a beautiful showing out of Team Beefy. That Sacred Site play gets the chef's kiss.
Yeah, just taking the very first and very, very clear victory condition here that presented itself to them. Beastie getting a keep up on every single one of these sacred sites, using the map control that they earned early on in the game, and then just not letting go. That was really, really well played.
No, it was like a Rottweiler with kid's leg, or should I say a dog with a bone. It was disgusting to watch. I mean, the play early to yoink deer away that forced all these knee-jerk reactions. The way that Effie proved himself in this one as well, even under fire with everything being dove, almost just felt like those villagers dangling in no man's land actually allowed Beastie to win a 2-on-1 fight. Just beautifully done. They opened the series with a win, but on the first of what could still be a very long one.
Yeah, exactly. It is a best of 5. This was only the first game, and now Avali and Urk, they didn't look too bad there in the end. And when it comes to civilizations, both teams use some really strong civilizations. Now, you could argue Rus and Malians are probably a little bit stronger when it comes to the civilization score. Now we're going over to Hillendale. We see Mongols for both teams, but they're being accompanied by both the HRE and the Chinese here. That's interesting.
Yes, so agreed on both sides, but I think the argument here is that Beefy and Effie, they have an opportunity to peak, maybe not as high end game, but faster in the mid, right, with the HRE compared to Chinese.
Yeah, it's a thing when China and HRE, they meet up. If China doesn't do something crazy, HRE just outscales them in the Castle Age, and then there's like this huge timing where HRE is just ahead of China, and yeah, but this is usually why I say, okay, China, they need to go for like a Barbican rush against the Holy Roman Empire. But with the Mongol as a teammate, that is very unlikely to be possible with the spearmen that the Mongol can make early on. Then again, the Chinese player also gets a Mongol teammate. Could we potentially see like an outpost and Barbican rush here?
Ooh, that would be vile. It's a gamble though, right? I feel like, you know, you get seen coming, there's reactions that can come out easily quick enough. I wouldn't mind it though. You know, like it depends on the spawns a bit. I think it's a bit RNG. And also I'm thinking Avali and Urk's playstyle, it doesn't fit that, right? Like if you were saying kills Jardy, a Mongol, I would expect someone like, but Avali and Urk, It's no offense to them, it's just their playstyle. Urk's a bit more offensive, but Avali, I think, is a lot more methodical. He likes that idea of a later game.
Yeah, he's a late game enjoyer as well. But I mean, personally, playing with a different teammate, I've been playing with Balchin quite a bit now. And now people would say that I also can tend to be a little bit of a turtley-ish kind of player. Playing with Balchin definitely makes me play way more all-ins that I usually would.
I mean, well, you're kind of forced, right? If one player's doing it, it's like, I guess I've got to come along. I'm leashed to you. I do expect this to be Avali on the Chinese, by the way. There's no way that Urk gives up his Mongols. I think it's, to this day, his most played civ.
Is it now? All right, that's interesting.
So.
That's I'm not quite sure what civilizations Urk is really comfortable with.
I remember he always, like, if you're playing like some free for alls or whatever, and he can choose, man loves to get his Mongol on.
Quickly gonna check.
I can't see him on the ranked leaderboards.
Yeah, he hasn't played any games yet this season, but we do see, yeah, it's his main civs are French, Abbasid, and then China.
Really? Okay, I'm a bit surprised. I thought Mongol would be up there. Maybe it kind of changed. Yeah, I could see like Chinese for him. I just think like Avali, like we said, because what we highlighted, where he's very comfortable with being kind of later phase player. You'd imagine he gets the Chinese here, right?
Yeah.
And
I think Avali for sure is a Chinese player as well. So I mean, HRE, who could it be? Who could be playing HRE?
I don't know. Who would pick the H? Well, here's the thing. It could be a bait, right, Crackety? Because, like, Mongols, if we could be fair here, Beastie is, I'd say, like, Effie doesn't have any issue saying Beastie is the better player, right, in the team. That's fair, right? Like, the guy is, like, a top 2, top 3 player in competitive. So, do you think that the Mongols, are harder to play here? And then my thought process is, like, is it better to give Effie the easier ride, potentially, if that makes sense?
All I'm going to say is that looking back at Season 1, looking back at Season 2, and the pre-season before that, developers love Mongols.
Oh, I thought you were going another way. I thought you were going with Beastie's main was Mongols, as everyone else's was. But you may be right. Maybe. Ooh, I don't know. I'm curious. I'm excited for this one. I think we are just a few minutes away. Just a reminder, everyone, by the way, there is still another weekend of games going on. So if you haven't followed this channel yet, it's probably a good idea. You don't want to miss when the games go live, especially considering how much they've delivered already. And I'm almost certain they're only going to get better from this weekend jumping into the second. I mean, you'll even get this guy. You get to see this guy play, all right? Mr. Fancy Pants over here. Aren't you going to be matching up against whoever wins this?
Exactly. So whoever wins this set, we're going to be matching, like Belcher and I are going to be matching in the next week. So definitely interesting to see how they're playing so far. I mean, looking at BC and FEH, they've just been playing this so methodically and just really, really well overall. I'm wondering how our strategies are going to match up against what they've been playing so far. I mean, looking at the first game, I'm actually feeling quite confident. That what we usually do in our games might work quite well against them.
Okay, I was a little bit surprised by that because I felt like you were a bit, I don't want to say worried, but you were surprised. You meant, like, when you mentioned that timing on the cast stage from Beastie, it almost like it took the wind out of you a bit.
I'm gonna say that it was within expectations.
That's true. I wouldn't put anything past this man.
I mean, I've played against Beastie in team games during Rising Empires League as well, so yeah. I think I kind of know, like, what his game plan usually tends to be, like how he intends to play the game. Now, usually when you play against a player of his caliber, you might know exactly what he's going to be doing, and you will still probably not be able to stop that from happening. But in a team game, I think when two players focus on one player, or like when two players both know what a player is going for, it gives you like more options to react to it.
That's fair. All right, and then there's the argument, obviously, Effie and Beastie have been getting a lot of hours in, but no doubt, well, I mean, I don't know. If you lose Crackety, you can always blame the fact you had to come cast today on that,
True.
Definitely. Baltoon there with a tear in his eyes, like, I was ready.
We're going to blame Core and Donati for not giving us enough practice in the earlier rounds.
Oh, that's fair, yes. Core and Donati. I mean, Core was too busy leveling in Diablo, and Donati, I don't know what he was. Is he back on H3?
I hear he's playing a lot of teamfight tactics at the moment.
Okay. Well, Everyone's prepping a pivot, Crackety. Where are you going? You're a Valorant player?
I am far from a shooter player.
Oof. Okay, so maybe prepping for another RTS.
I'm gonna say I'm an Age of Empires fan, so maybe I go to Age of Empires. I'll probably stay with AoE4. Just even if it's that AoE4 or general AoE, whatever comes next is gonna be my kind of game. Very
Age
likely.
of Mythology.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a big potential there.
Now, by the way, we're not just buying time because we like you looking at our faces and listening to our voices. There is a lobby issue that we are resolving right now. Hopefully, it won't take too long. If it does, Pesty's going to cry because I've already told him he has to pay me more if this goes long. Has been despite the second series, it has been a long day.
It has. I mean, we did get a 1-3-0 here, but yeah, the first set definitely was one of the longer ones that we've seen so far in this tournament, going for the full 4 hours there. It was a long one. It was definitely hard-fought victory there for Chick and Maito.
You had to think for a second. Like, hold on a second. So many games past here. Of course, those just tuning in, Magic and Maito took the dub there. Second series was a very clean 3-0 for Louis and Yu.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. But you know what the positive
I was thinking,
is? You might see Wham in the casting booth next week.
True. That does open. Or maybe Blade.
Ooh. Got options.
The famous Blade 5 5 5 5 5 5 5 5 5 5
5 5 5 5 5 5
in the casting booth.
Yeah, well, was it Blade 55,555th of his name, as I like to refer to him. We'll see though. But if you are wondering what happened in the third set, it's because the day went quite long. The executive call was given to say, let Divine DFP Kiljadi versus Nyan Cat and Kryzor play out off stream. I doubt we're going to go back and check on that one with how late it's getting. I mean, if Pesty wants to pay us, I mean, we'll go for it.
Overtime.
Overtime. Isn't that like double pay? Pesty right now. But Pesty's like taking all the $50 bills he's been wiping his brow with and he's sweating. I'm doing it again where I make out that he's got $1 million.
I sent him the link for like where he can rent a yacht rather than buy one for the Vegas land, so maybe he's looking into that at the moment.
That's very thoughtful of you. Yeah, renting would probably be more efficient. I mean, the big issue is how you get the yacht out of the water into the strip in Vegas.
Ooh, but surely, I mean, there's people for everything in Vegas, right? Like,
that's true. The helicopters are going to be hella expensive, though.
Yeah, Microsoft pays for them. Surely.
Really? That's true. They can afford Activision Blizzard. I'm sure they can afford a few helicopters.
Just get a couple of those Modern Warfare helicopters over there.
There you go. It's a cross-game promotion. You know, you have the Captain Price actor. He'll fast rope down and announce, "Welcome to the Vegas Age of Empires land," and that's it. They pay him like 10K.
Sponsored by Call of Duty. I mean, wait a second. Do you know the map in Call of Duty where it's like on a yacht?
Oh yeah, that's the one from Black Ops. You think in Black Ops, like
and like in between the rounds, they have to like shoot each other with paintball guns, something like that.
Yeah, there you go. So what you're saying is, while the poor nerds of AoE are trying to set up, Call of Duty pros come by with paintball guns. Thanks for that.
And shoot them.
Let me paint you a picture of how this series is going to go. Anyway, I think we've resolved it. We should be ready in 2 minutes' time. For those just tuning in, Beastie and Effie have been practicing, and it's definitely showing, is all I'll say about Game 1.
Yeah. Game 1, pretty clean win there for BC and FEH. Now, it was still a good showing from Avely and Urk, like the army from Urk, and definitely the approach with the Grand Falani Corral were definitely the correct ones there. I liked his approach there. Just, I think Avely just missing his timing for the H-up, just constantly going for those raids, never really massing up that big night count that FEH was able to put out onto the field, and it kind of hurt them then in the last fight, and they weren't able to recapture one of the sacred sites.
Yeah, now someone curious to think about going in this game as well is obviously, you know, typically don't worry, games don't hold in time like we were just doing there. So with the Keshiks, that's what we expect, right? That's the cavalry composition. I'm thinking like the second layering. If the Chinese player gets greedy, I feel like you're just giving the game over to the HRE comp, right? Because like you fall for those relics, they come over the top much quicker than you could ever achieve.
I feel like against Beastie with the HRE and with China being on the opposite side, you need to finish the game in Feudal Age. And you cannot allow the HRE player to get into Castle Age, to get out onto the map, because that's where you suddenly will start falling behind. So I really want to see something like the Outpost Rush accompanied by the Chinese villagers for Barbican behind that. And even if it fails, it would still probably be the best way for Averly and Urk to secure an equalizer match.
You're a disgusting man, Crackety. You and these Barbicans. I've seen what you do in 1v1s. I know where you're getting to with this. I don't know if you're going to see it in this one. I'm not convinced. I mean, I've seen it in the past. It is a Hail Mary to throw, and if it misses, you are already going to find yourself potentially out of the tournament, right, with your back up against the wall, because Beastie and FE will be on match point.
It's hard but honest work, I'll tell you that much, with the Barbican.
I ain't nothing honest about it. It only works when you don't tell them it's coming.
They don't need to know.
They'll know. It would just be too late to do anything about it. Oh, blimey. Oh, by the way, did anyone figure out what these star balloons do? I'm still curious. Tell me, guys.
They're the equivalent of bits, but they also give you like VIP status, which is interesting of a concept.
So you get VIP and we can't take it away from you.
Yeah, pretty much. And what's also great about it is, for example, I'm quickly going to close my Afrika window. Now I'm going to open it up again. Mm-hmm. And when the chat loads in for me, it's going to say, you have ended the stream. It doesn't say it right away. Guess I need to be out for a little bit. It says, oh, no, there we go.
There we go. So basically, you can take over the chat is what we're getting from here. I mean, Twitch doesn't let you do that, so what are you waiting for? Give Pesty money. Yeah. Yachts don't rent themselves. How much do you pay for that?
I am not going to disclose the amount that I paid in terms of balloons.
I don't think you even know what I don't think you know what the conversion rate was. Anyway, time to hop into game number 2 between Beefy and Overly.
Here we go. And into the game we go.
Oh, we got the boring spawn. No safe back corner. It's going to be your kind of standard hill and dale here. So maybe a little bit more. I think the difference actually with this generation compared to what we saw in the State Sort of series is that this one is more, it forces you off the high ground sooner, right?
Yeah, definitely. And you don't have these back resources anymore in there. And yeah, means that you're going to have to go out on the map quite a bit earlier.
Definitely can be spooky, especially with that time we talked about, like BC, for example. I'm just like looking at the generation, kind of getting a feel for it right now, seeing if there's exposure points, especially for a Mongol player to kind of press down on. There's a beautiful place between the two bases with the fat gold and the double deer, but I can't imagine you ever get that for free. Let's see though. I mean, we are going to get the standard play by a Chinese player out onto the berries with the sheep. Surprising that he didn't go for the deer that are right next to him, but I guess Avali is looking for that optimal Imperial Academy timing.
They're actually sharing a gold mine there. That's quite interesting.
Peculiar is also a word I'd apply for. Yeah, I mean, there's a fat gold vein forward to that, but I guess that's the risk logic, right? Is the forward gold might get blocked by some sort of cheesy outpost play. But I don't think we've seen that at all. But looks like a Urk. I don't think he's planned to get aggressive here, which is understandable. Such a big map, it's hard to find the value. In fact, that's a very early pasture.
Yeah, it is. Oh, we're seeing actually from Urk, he's going for Horseman.
What? It's been a hot second since we've seen this. I wonder how much damage you can really get done here, because I'm just looking at the way they've spawned, and I don't feel that they're too exposed. I mean, you have got BC playing out on Deer, and the Arcane is being placed, and Yuchiki Gear. Ook is pushing the Deer away, so definitely not making BC's life easy here.
To push that away, and means that there's not going to be... it's going to make it very hard there for BC to get the optimum income there with the Deer. A lot of idle time being forced there as well. Imperial Academy being built now by Avely, so we're not going to be seeing an early Barbican rush here, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, you're vile, man. You just want to go to bed. I know what it is. Oh, Red's going to come in. That's going to push him back initially at least. And BC, well, this is annoying. If you're an HRE player, the last thing you want your opponent to do is force you to build units. Disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, making units with HRE, you want to go for that like really naked, fast castle age, and might be that we're seeing something like that here. Oh, we also see the new Khan Falcon being used here. So this is such a strong ability now with the Khan Falcon, being able to make that like with range, being able to put that Falcon out with range. It's just so good. It gives you so much more information than previously. And it looks like Beastie, he has been pushed off of the gold now, early on, which means that the fast castle is going to be quite delayed unless he's able to get out to gold, and he did invest into a barracks now.
Now, I don't know about you, but I actually kind of wish that we had some sort of like cartoon artist doing kind of memeful takes in AoE4, because I already know what the Falcon one would be. Just this guy picking up a bird and hurling it, and it just like slamming into a building. That's pretty much an accurate description of what they're doing with those Falcons.
Yeah, and don't forget the Falcon actually has a couple of other use cases as well, because for some weird reason...
Did they not fix it? I know where you're going.
Yeah, I don't think it's been fixed, but like the Falcon, it can stop the charge of like Knights, for example. Like it's not a unit that you can directly right-click to attack, but it is a unit, and it has a hitbox, and Knights can charge into it. And now that you can place it at a distance, it can be quite annoying.
I'm telling you guys, mass scouts against the French player.
True, every scout can make the Falcon.
You're up. I'm telling you guys, it's the next level plays. Ook, in the meantime, is going to be a pain in the ass, just pushing FE further away from the goodies. But we are seeing the Keshiks come out. Of course, this is a big reason why I said it's been a hot second since we've seen the Horsemen. Just so much more favorable to rush Feudal Age for this unit instead.
Yeah, Keshiks, obviously such a strong unit at the moment. Now Urk is also going up with the Silver Tree. To be expected here. Now, he's also getting his second pass drop, even though he still has like a lot of deer there next to his base. I'm wondering why he just didn't go out to those. It's a big investment. Would have rather seen like a second stable for him in order to pump out a lot more Keshiks as the H-up comes in. Now Keshiks from FEH are going to start entering the base here from Avely, but there's the Barbican, so should need to run around now. Actually, he can just run past it.
Yeah, just go.
He's going to.
Bye.
Banking it up with the Khan as well.
Yeah, so get through a little bit quicker. And they will get a freebie over here. This poor villager came out on the wrong day of the week.
Yeah, see quick walling? He's trying to quick wall. Yeah, he did quick wall, but like...
Oh, that peel back was good. That scout bought enough time that the villager can die 2 seconds later.
Yeah. There wasn't, like, on the pub, they actually reverted the update where, like, the walls spawn, like, they're being built with, like the blueprint has, like, 0 HP.
Oh, yeah.
So in the pub, they suddenly had HP again. Now it seems like in the live version, there's the HP is gone again. So it's really easy to torch them down.
Yeah, I think we saw that kind of interaction earlier with a mining camp, where it just feels like it's much easier to just tap build and fail, and ooh, can't.
And behind that, Regnitz Cathedral going up now. So the delay on the castle age just wasn't there, and this is going to look really, really tough now, because I guess at least Avely, I'm not sure if he's going for a second TC or if he's built a second TC. I think he was on stone. I'm not sure right now.
I'd be surprised if
a mining camp. Yeah, he wasn't on stone. He's not going for a second TC. He's going for Mass Jugunu, but
this is too late.
With the map size, yeah, with a map size like that, and Jugunu just being as slow as longbows or as slow as crossbowmen or like unupgraded men-at-arms, it's gonna be really tough for him to like go into relic denial or anything like that.
We can already see that Beastie is ready to rock and roll. Should have the stables building up now. After that, Knights will come out. But even without the Knights, right, these discount Knights, these Keshiks in the mid-map, not something that's easily answered, right? Because if you finesse it, you can just avoid your counterpart, the other Mongol player, and just target these Zhuge Nu.
Yeah, exactly. And that's very likely going to be happening here as well. Right now, Beastie, he still only has a Spearman, but I could definitely see either Knights. It's probably just going to be Knights, right? I think it's probably one of the best units for the H3 to go in. Because when they get relics, and especially on a map like this where there are so many relics to get, if you get a lot of them, just Knights is definitely going to be the best unit to spend your resource on, but we're going to be seeing some Men-at-Arms in queue now.
I can kind of see the logic in that, actually, I guess. Like he's probably going to have to set up farms eventually. This is less of a burden as the economy. And if you just scale it up, you will beat Zhuge Nu back, right? You can move faster due to marching drills.
Yeah, exactly. Still, though, in the end, like, he's going to have to do something with the gold. Whether it means that he's going to trade it out for other resources or invest it into Knights or upgrades, that's just left to be seen. But yeah, with the additional gold in the early games, like, if he goes for Men-at-Arms, then he can definitely go for a lot of eco upgrades behind that.
I feel like at this pacing, this is going to be a 5-relic game, at least. I don't think they have map control to deny him.
Yeah, and this is like the point, right? Like a 7-man Castle Age with China, which takes so long to like get up early on. Like they're not going to leave their base before 8 minutes into the game. And that is why typically in this matchup against the H3, you have to do something crazy like a Barbican Rush.
Neuvara to give chase. Spearmen are going to waste time here as the Prelate has already made off with the goodies. So they're going to have to guess the right way. In fact, BC tried to be big brain about it and just go full right. But I think they're sniffing it out, so they will be able to chase that guy down. But keep in mind that the Beastie is building additional Prelates and he's going to multiple angles. Meanwhile, Avelyn Urk's entire army is parked in one location. In fact, they're not even stopping the relics from going home.
Yeah, and that is going to be another one in the bag for Beastie. And the question is, what's they going to do? Are they going to just go for like a forward push here? That feels so risky, and especially with like TCs, it's going to be hard to really commit to any dives.
Oh, they don't quite know yet. Beastie's got a safe relic behind him. He didn't spot. He was scouting all the way along the west side to check where the remaining relics are at.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate right now. Looking at the numbers right now, Urk does seem to have a good lead when it comes to the cash count. Also a good amount of Zhuge Nu right now out on the map. Maybe they can get some damage in on FEH here.
I'm wondering what Effie is really got into here. It's just a bunch of Keshiks, but actually less than what Urk has because of the bad trades he had to take. I mean, Beastie, he has to get something out soon. I'm looking at this right now. It's what, 3 Men-at-Arms, soon to be 4? Where's the power?
Yeah, it doesn't feel there yet. Now he's adding a second barracks, a third barracks. He's gonna need army soon on the field, and even if he gets like some Men-at-Arms out, the Keshiks aren't gonna be able to deal with that if there's no heavy maces on them. And even with the heavy maces, like Men-at-Arms, they don't have a lot of HP in Fuel Age compared to like Kashyyyk, so the Zhuge Nu can take them out as easily, like even easier than they can take down Kashyyks.
I can't help but feel they tricked Beastie with this. Like, I can't help but feel they were expecting greed out of Avali. And we mentioned before the game that Avali is the type of player that indulges that later phase in the game, but almost just catches them completely disarmed with this. The mass Zhuge Nu. I don't know how you stop that. It feels like Beastie has to get a Mangonel, right?
Yeah, it definitely needs to be the siege approach here. Now buildings are getting packed up, but packing up buildings against Zhuge Nu?
Uh-oh.
That can be a costly mistake.
Look at the damage straight away. It's just a loss.
Goodbye, building.
I wouldn't even... Sir, you don't... No, you do not want to charge this neighborhood. Just accept that half your base is gone. Oh, what? Even more packed up buildings? Don't mind if I do.
Oh, Beastie.
Are you kidding me?
Beastie.
That's okay, guys. I don't need a teammate.
I'll win this 2v1.
Oh my dear God. I mean, he really has just thrown Effie to the wolves.
Maybe he thinks that Avali behind this is going up to Castle Age, but now the reinforcements come in, and now it should be clear that Avali is not even thinking about Castle Age right now.
I mean, it's the food limitation as well. I'm just looking at that map, right? The deer slowly being exhausted. He's started to kind of flesh in the farms. Sure, there's a leash to this for Avali and Urk. They're going to run out of food eventually, but you've given them entire map control. So that's a long way off. They can play boar, they can play deer, they can play berries. They don't have to stay on the high ground.
What do you think is going on in the voice chat right now? Is Beastie just going to be like, oh, we're fine, you're fine, it's all right. Don't worry about it. You're fine.
They just muted each other. Beastie's like, I don't want to hear this. It's just the sound of Mongols dying. He needs a clutch Wololo play. Problems are coming his way. There it is, Wololo now. Congrats, you bought 5 seconds until death.
I mean, if Avely just makes like 2 more Rams now, they can push onto the Regnitz Cathedral, take that down, and suddenly all the gold income is going to be gone. Beastie is going to go for what he's known for in these situations. It's going to be bombard emplacements.
Now, that's good for his base, Crackety.
It is only for his base, yeah.
Yeah, what about the Mongol? Well, the Mongol player can pack up and come to his base, I guess, right? So, you know.
Yeah, it's always that.
You can bunk
potential.
Together.
Now, there is like the rule that the main TC from Mongols can't be within like 8 tiles to another TC. I'm not sure if that's only opponents' town centers or also your allies. That would be hilarious.
I hope for his sake, it's just for enemies.
I mean, FEH has to know, right? He has to know that.
Have you ever felt a situation where you were forced to do what we're suggesting? I don't think he does definitely know. You remember the amount of times you've heard like a developer go, "Oh, I didn't realize that's how that worked." I think we might be in for one of those. But luckily for him,
there we go, Regnitz.
Attention isn't on his base right now. It's fully on Beasties. They're trying to prevent the glut.
Merchant's Repair.
Wait. I mean, you just commit, right? You don't need to move off of it.
Yeah. You just out-damage that. There we go. It's done.
That's a lot of gold gone. That's a lot of cheddar missing from the bank of Beastie here. Keshix have been cutting off reinforcements. FE says, you forgot to kill me. Looking to make you regret it. Oh,
behind
look at that.
I mean,
let's just put these relics in the outpost now. Thanks.
Reinforcements on the outpost have been researched, so next up is going to be the cannon placements. And I feel like right now, probably best play for Avely and Urk is just to kill FEH first completely. And then look towards killing Beastie.
Because, you know, the cannon emplacements aren't here, practically. They are a whole base away. And now with that realization, I'm starting to wonder, what does Beastie do? I mean, he is eventually going to have elite men-at-arms. They're still only Castle Age for the time being, because he's been prioritizing his cannons.
Yeah, exactly. Now fight is going to be happening here under the base from FEH.
The rest of the eco away.
Now BC isn't sending units over. He is letting him die.
No, he's just getting as much eco out. He's saying the TC will last a while. Outpost, whoop-de-doo. Keep the army busy. I'm coming. It's going to be keep drop.
Oh, keep!
Beastie, he's looking to save the day. This backstab keep hasn't been noticed yet. Finally, reaction comes out, but the Wololo could hold them hostage. Edges it early. Beautiful positioning, but not good enough. Chiganu cut him down. But the castle, no doubt about it, is going up. There's no way they can stop it. And the Kurultai feels worthless.
Yeah, Kurultai not achieving what it needs to right now. Will have to back off, but in the end, they could still catch FEH here. But FEH is now burning down the Rams.
Yeah, great job from FE. Just buying time now. The Men-at-Arms move in. They're going to guarantee the TC stays up, and the Kurultai is nowhere near them. They're not utilizing it. The Chugenu have gone hunting, but as we can see, FE has vacated the high ground far to the north.
Yeah, now the Chugenu, they're in the back here. What are they looking for? I mean, villagers there are going to be evacuating.
Oh my good lord, what a play from Beastie. I mean,
yeah, they will have to look onto like doing some damage to Beastie because he's repairing the Regnitz right now. He's got cannon placements. His economy, like his base, it's so secure right now. It's going to be tough to really do damage there.
Oh, well, one problem is he's got an Archon that's nowhere near the wood line, so that is going to be a slow gain of the wood required for the repair, but yes, he will get there. Remember, this is Palace of Swabia. And finally, it is going to be Castle Age on the horizon for Avely. FE, however, probably going to need Beastie to bribe him.
It's a lot of armored units now, though, that are coming towards these Chuganu. Now, there aren't a ton of upgrades on these Men-at-Arms, and if Avely gets up and upgrades his Chuganu,
if he supervises,
they're going to be able to, they're going to be able to take these Men-at-Arms down so quickly.
Remember, no marching drills either. You said not a lot of upgrades. That's the key one that's missing there. So BC can't give chase, but he can force them to give way. They vacate the high ground. FE technically still has a base.
For now.
Not much of one, but technically it's still a base.
I mean, behind this, Beastie, just really paying off right now.
It needs to. Keep in mind that behind this, Urk has also been scaling trade. That's 14 traders now for a Mongol player.
Yeah.
Chase out. Look what he's found. The greedy beastie.
That's a lot of villagers going down now. It doesn't hurt as much with the Swabia, but Beastie, he is struggling for food right now.
And that's just revealed at 100%. Like, when you're out here on the deal like that, it's going to force him to go to farms, and that's also another bigger compounded issue. Remember, Hill and Dale does not have much wood on the high ground. Do you really want to have to spend it on mass farms?
Yeah, he is running out of that slowly but surely. Now, the only way, though, for Avely to push in here is going to be with trebuchets. There's no other way in the Cast Age to take down these outposts with emergency repair and cannon emplacements.
Apparently, Avely wants to try. It's mass rams. I am somewhat doubtful.
If he gets like 10, 12 rams out, maybe, but only with 4?
With E-repairs, though, as well, and like, there's no way you're not getting wailed on. Well, he's going to go into the economy instead. Probably the best move he can make here. I say that, cannons. Reasonable. Very reasonable.
Yeah. Reasonable range as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's a sniper cannon. It's a Barrett 50 cal from the Field Age. Nice little
It's a large army here, but is it going to be enough mangonel in position?
One shot. One off the two.
Large shot.
Ooh, that's a good hit.
That's a big hit.
More rams, apparently, is the answer.
Surely. That'll work.
Mm-hmm. Against
more mangonels is going to be the answer as well.
Can you think of 2 worse civs to build rams against in the entire game? I can't think of 2 worse civs.
Yeah, there probably isn't any.
E-repairs or pack up and walk away. Either way. Raiden. FE's like, this is fine. This is my life now. This has literally been my entire game. Luckily for him, he shifted a bunch of his economy out onto the flatlands up north.
Feudal for life. Oh, Mango. Oh, that's another big shot. Oh my god, that just hit so many
second
units.
Mango as well. He's just going to lose the rams.
Yeah, he's just letting them move in.
This is so crazy. What's the Kurultai going to do? Die? He's going to pinch it. He's going to pinch it! I mean, he could grab it right now, and you could wail on it while the Mangonels cover you, but he's just kind of allowing
needs to take down. Urt needs to take down those Mangonels because Avely can't. Actually, never mind, Avely can. He's got a Springle there now.
That one Springle's doing God's work right now. It's a Clock Tower one as well. Not easy to take down. See the heals coming out. The Kurultai does unpack, and that was the key detail. No way of stopping it. Beastie had to react to the Springle, but he just doesn't have the breadth to his formation yet. He's now trying to get the Culverin, but he'll wish he had it sooner.
Yeah, and I mean, in the end, Kurultai plus Jugunu, the damage increase on these triple attacks is huge, but yeah, you can't dive BC space though.
Getting ahead of ourselves a bit here, Ook.
BC space is just untouchable as long as those cannon placements are there. And I really feel like you need like 4 trebuchets if you want to take that down.
So Beasties is untouchable, and FE's is also untouchable because it doesn't really exist anymore.
Where do you attack then? I guess
the
point where BC space isn't untouchable, like the bottom.
Okay. I've got a crazy concept for you. What if you had a win condition that existed in the mid area of the map?
Oh, nah, that would be crazy, right?
No, they wouldn't do that. I mean, what would be the point in going in someone's base, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you only win games by Stronghold landmarks.
There's still free relics available, by the way.
Oh, God.
I'm going to wager this game has at least 10 more minutes, and within those 10 minutes, BC would have got them.
I mean, the army count, it's so big right now, but at the same time, there's just so many defensive emplacements out on the field for Beastie. It just feels impossible to push in, and now with the Culverin out, it means that trebuchets also won't work anymore.
I can already see the complaints about nerfing keeps on Reddit.
I've been complaining about cannon emplacements for a long time now.
I can't take it away from Beastie. I mean, that turned the game. That castle drop, the timing on it as well, like everything had to align perfectly. If Avely turns around sooner, if he starts massacring you before you begin construction, you call GG. But that truly has kept him in the game. Love that detail from Effie. Well, I'm that far behind. It's probably a good idea to build extra TCs. Let's just not build them at home.
Springled has been left behind here.
Wait, come back. Not just 1, maybe 2. More keeps as well in the center. And now this is awkward because I don't think they're going to spot that keep. I think they're trying to go through on the right flank, but that might be more insulated than they realize. No?
I like the idea of going on to the right flank. There's no outpost there yet, and that's the entire wood economy from Beastie.
Does he see it, though? He does indeed. He heads straight for it. The Khan is with him. And the villagers, Beastie's like, okay, this isn't my base anymore. Congratulations, shakes his hands.
Oh, but what awaits him on the other side? In the stealth forest. How does he know? How does he just walk back there in the last second?
Why does this work? It's like the Kexun, they don't even exist.
What is that Ultra Instinct? Stonewall's now coming up behind that.
Keshik's more like Kekix. I don't understand how villagers always do this.
So weird. I feel like Urk and Aveley need to go up to Castle Age or Imperial Age here. Else it's just too hard to deal with all of these defensive replacements from Beastie. There's just no way to deal with them.
Well, they've at least carved out the extra territory on the flank, take that away from Beastie, but Beastie surviving that. A touch of death stroking against him, but somehow he dodges it beautifully. Key to that, because that would have been 30 villages at least. That would have been the lead for them gone. And yes, you heard me correctly. After all this, they have more eco units still.
Behind that, FEH going for the triple TC play. Look at that, though. The Shuganu doing so much damage there. Is there still only +1 Pierce armor on these men-at-arms? It's so much damage.
I think so. There's no way that they've been upgraded further.
It's +2.
Really?
Yeah, with Imperial, they should only be doing 1 damage. Now, there are a couple of crossbows mixed in from the looks of it. But still, that felt like there was so much damage going on there.
We'll say a couple. There's 21, and I think most of them are probably in that 40. That would explain it then, yes. Yeah. This raid on the side still hasn't been addressed. I mean, Beastie doesn't have the bandwidth to do so, right? He's barely got a big enough army to keep the main force at bay, as we just saw.
It's just going to be CGQD now. 6 Mangonels, 2 Culverins.
Oh, this is the best map for Culverins as well, right? You don't have to stonewall the entire base. You just shoot over the sides.
Yeah.
I knew it was an HRE bias map. Wait, there's no. Can we check the vision there? Because I'm pretty sure that Ook does not know.
I think he might just. I think he knows. He should know for sure.
No, there's no way. No way!
That's insane.
He's not going to spot it either.
That is insane.
He's actually not going to.
Yes,
come on. He gets in. So he's found it now. So that's going to be a heavy loss there. I think Effie's got quite a few villages and nothing else in that area.
He's aging up. Kurultai. 25-minute Castle Age coming in now for FEH.
We got there. God damn, was it hard, though.
The power of friendship. Now, Aveley tried to wall in the side there, which is a good idea, but it's a little bit late now at this point in the game.
Do you think that they get served? Like, do you think they get a survey off this game where it's like, would you play with this guy again? Is Effie saying yes or no?
10 out of 10 would recommend again.
I mean, I don't blame Beastie, right? But it's like legit. It's one of those situations when it plays out like this, you feel like you're just not, like, why were you even here?
Would recommend he let me go to the toilet during the game.
Would recommend he let me cheer him on the VoIP. Well, Beastie, he's trying to make up for it. There you go. That's 1,500 resources. And I believe the TC just casually drifted off into the night unnoticed.
White Stupa being built now in the back by Urk, and with the Mongols, you get these 13 range Springles. And 13 range Springles, they absolutely poop word on the Culverins.
They poop word.
I have to be careful what I say.
I don't know what the rules are in Afrika. They take a giant elephant-sized dump on them. TC did survive for an extra minute and then snitched on the trade. Oh, God.
First trader for FEH dies immediately.
So Fiend's going to get a chance to reproduce. I think the story ends here. TC is going to be torched down. That's guaranteed. Now, he did at least build that secondary TC on the high ground, but this is not the time in the game where you can afford to be pushed onto the high ground. You need to be getting out.
Yeah. Erg also aware of his military there, pulls him back. Farm transition has been completed by Aveley. Beastie looks to also have completed his. Question's going to be now, Siege War. The infinite Siege War. Who's going to reign superior? And I mean, so far, there's no siege from Erg, but if they want to take down the base from Beastie, Erg has to be the one that makes siege.
Surely you never gamble against CGQ.
This can't gamble against him.
I mean, this man, rumor has it he once had to go hospital, and they gave him an IV drip of siege. It changed him forever.
Spirit Way now also coming in, so we're going to be having 2 Imperial Age players. Meanwhile, FEH only just now got to Castle Age.
Now, the question actually is, like, I've heard a lot of rumors actually. There's the IV drip one. There was also a rumor that Beastie was bitten by a little mangonel. All of a sudden, his senses were enhanced. All the Mangos, they get their moment, they shot their opportunity. That's what they've been waiting for. Chugynu Mass massacred. They're gone.
What a hit! They just took down 40 units in a second. Oh my god.
You asked for it, you receive. Beastie gets the jackpot. Those mangonels just paid for themselves.
Oh my god, there was so many units going down there in the blink of an eye, and man, oh man, the mangonels just paid themselves twice over, and Beastie behind that. He has a resource bank. Look at that. 10,000 resources in the bank behind this.
Look at Effie. Effie is going up. I can't believe it. Like, what would we say? It was a 25-minute tech up time for Castle Age? Doesn't wait around.
It's the Kaganet Palace. So just to get units out of the field, it's going to be the Kaganet Palace to get units out for him.
Nesta Bees, anybody? I wouldn't mind a few.
Oh, man.
No, not these crappy ones. I want the Mongol Nesta Bees. Come on.
Yeah, but now, I mean, BC, he's just securing more and more of the map right now. He's even ramming on the side, and this is going to be tough for them to deal with because these man-at-arms, they have the heavy maces. They're fully upgraded Imperial Age. They need, like, I think even fully upgraded Keshiks. They're not going to be enough in even numbers.
And there's arguments about whether the Mangos pay for themselves. So we said 40 Chugynu go down, the 80 resources, right? So... Yeah. Like, that's a substantial... That's like 5 Mangonels. Almost paid for themselves. They got us in the technicality. Not bad for one volley.
Keshik isn't going to be able to deny the keep, but it's so annoying to deal with these keeps. And really, they need siege now. Okay, it looks like Aveli's got 2 bombards out on the field. But they need the Mongol Springles, and they're not coming yet.
Oh, did we forget what walls are and how they work? Oh, we did. That's going to be a problem. Look at it.
That's going to be another keep in the corner.
And even if you now react, there's enough villagers to get that up guaranteed. That's no trade for you. That's no bueno.
Easy, just sent 4.5k food over to FEH. That's going to be a lot of spearmen, I feel like.
We're going to feed the world right now, Effie. I mean, I know it's a hard life being a developer right now with all the layoffs, but well, you can afford to retire on that. Bloody hell.
Oh, then.
It's not just done there.
In theory...
Is he going to wall this?
Maybe. I mean, in theory, yeah, Urk is doing it right now. He can just pull the curl tie. Oh, my God. Oh, no.
I don't think so. No. You're not leaving here, Silvertree. Mr. Silvertree.
Yeah, he's going to have to make a new market there.
Oh, Beastie. Oh. Like a tentacle reaching.
Keeps down, though.
There's bullet all in it, but the curl tie is offsetting that damage.
Yeah, and the Keshiks also healing themselves at the same time.
And remember, the Keshiks get bonus damage. So they get through it quicker while sustaining with their heals. Wonderful unit.
Yeah, and also bonus attack speed.
Very fun. But that distraction has allowed FE to gain a bit of territory north side. We have to also remember that this is now all attention directed towards Aveline Urk space. That's a problem.
We are now sitting on 8 Mangonels with another NQ and 5 Colrans with another NQ. Do
you think he has enough yet?
Nah. Could take a couple more Colrans.
Yeah, he's like, well, Effie, I just gave you a few thousand food. Can you make me a front line, please? Oh, we got in. We're not done yet. It's time for more fun. Of course, BC's first instinct, take the stone.
Oh, God. Okay, military now from Avely, trying to push forward here now.
No way.
The entire Woody Coast still... Yeah, I mean, the walls. You can't stop them.
Guys, can just shoot them, please. Oh, this small group.
They can only shoot in straight lines. It doesn't work.
The math doesn't support them here. Oh my God, this is so infuriating right now. Like, this entire army is worthless.
Yeah, just not getting anything done. Now Ram's being made here by FEH, so he's going to be able to really annoy on his side. And just a couple of men-at-arms now in the farm economy.
Hey, honey.
Avely really has to watch out for that.
He doesn't have an army at home to do that because the entire army is busy spending time with wolves.
And they're just sitting at the front, not really getting anything done right now, which is quite annoying.
I think they need to be very careful about how they approach this. And
There's a couple of mangonels.
You think like, surely you'd think the culverins from this elevation would be able to, you know, throw a few cannonballs over there, but no. Mangoes will get rid of the ramp.
Don't come closer.
The auto aggro. No.
God damn. Oh no.
That's not a cheap army. That is not a cheap army at all. And now look at Effie. He says, you should have killed me while you had a chance. The sleeping, the slumbering wolf has awoken. Wolves are going to break, but what will emerge? Nothing but the beasties.
Oh my god, so many culverins. Bombards get taken down, and this is just an army that you can't push back at all.
You wanted this. You asked for this. You came to our base. We were willing to exist. But now coexistence is off the checkerboard. There is only one outcome now. CGQE has awoken like the dragon.
Also gets taken down on that side, and now the army from Urk. What are they trying to find there? Oh my god,
what you want? What you want? You want to go home? You want to cry to mommy? You're going to need to. Beastie is not done with you yet.
Finally, we see Springalds coming out from the Mongol player. 13 range Springalds, but they need to be here fast because the keep from Avely is getting taken down quickly by the Bombards.
Mangoes are meant to counter range, but they're countering everything right now. Even Keshiks feel like they're squishies. Anything that steps in the range of the beast shall experience the clap of his jaws.
Clap of his cheeks more like, man, that is just brutal right now. CG Cutie. And how the outpost spam.
Knock, knock. You guys want us to come out and play. This is all on you. Meanwhile, maximum trade will never be seen again. And the gameplay trades, the military trades are going one way. Avely gets a pound into the throat of his golden cup. Keeps now down. More ground being forfeited. That is, of course, the Kurultai buff on everything that matters here. The unstoppable Mango push will not be denied. Clash in the center. Mango's going to turn their attention towards it. The Keshik, they can't stay. The pack up. Kurultai has to retreat. Step by step, Beastie and Effie emerge.
Springalds got in the range there. Off the culverins, get taken down so quickly. It looks like Avely tries to raid on the side, but let's remember what Beastie has in space. Outpost with cannon emplacements.
Good luck. You're going to need it. Wood in this front. Now what Urk was looking for. Def, not what he was expecting, but will receive. And even if this Bombard gets through, there's a late cake.
The Springalds get sniped once again. Now the siege is... Once again, no Springalds!
They're outnumbered. They're not tanky enough. The Sprills aren't reacting. Urk! No anti-siege, no answer. They gain more ground.
So many Springalds been taken down for free, even though they have more range in theory.
In theory, but not in practice, apparently. And the Mangonels rain hell from above. Still no answer. And who's meant to get the cavalry to ever get in there? I don't see it.
Where are the fire lances when you need them?
You need them yesterday if you want to feel good. And the outpost spam from Effie. I think we know how this one ends.
Look at that, Effie. He also gets his own nest of bees out on the field and hit palace guards as well. From the Kag and the palace there.
Speaking of the nest of bees, they'll find a nice wall up there. You know, this began with cannon spamming outposts. They've switched the baton now. Now it's Effie's turn to do exactly that. Choke points being held, preventing the wraparound here. Mangoes looking for value. Keshiks with the backstab. But the Mangoes can still get a death flurry out to the backside. Shuge Nu start to get healed up, but they're feeling the pain. The Keshiks have all been wiped out. There's nothing left to stand with. Under 50 military and no signs of letting up. Beastie leads the charge.
This is so tough right now. The siege the anti-siege was so desperately needed from Urk, but he lost so many Springalds there for free. He needed them to snipe down the culverins, and that not happening means that now the siege is uncontested, and Beastie, with 5 Mangonels, is just pushing through.
No stopping him. Nest of Beast to support as well, and that is going to be the GG call. They give it over. No stopping the Beast. Beastie and Effie will take game 2.
Man, what a game. It looked so hard there at the beginning for Beastie. I mean, the push was beautiful from Avely, but they just couldn't find the value in the base from Beastie. Early cannon emplacement means that it's so hard to push in, and Beastie just recovering on the economy, spamming the siege out, and making sure that his enemies know why they call him CG Cutie.
How on earth does Effie have a pulse at the end of this one? How on earth does Effie contribute as much as Beastie in that final fight? A ludicrous game, for sure. And now, already, they find themselves on the horizon of a 3-0. And no doubt in my mind that Avely and Urk need to mentally reset from what is no doubt an infuriating game.
Yeah, losing that one must hurt a lot. It must hurt your mentality, must hurt your outlook on the entire set. And you've lost with a lot of really strong civilizations. Now, granted, Achery, probably the best civilization for Beastie. But still, you took out your own China, you took out your own Mongols, and that's gonna hurt. Now we're gonna be seeing Rus and English against English and French on Lipany.
I mean, the crazy part, right, is Beastie always tries to tell us he's more than what we say when we're like, you know, late game lover, CG cutie. But every time we see the early game potential, the Malian Prince, he reminds us of why he looks so natural as the Siege King. Well, maybe we'll see it again, considering that English is on the board. I wouldn't be surprised if we're actually going to see Beastie take up the English here. Do you think that maybe you give Effie the Rus, allow him to play that cavalry civ for the 3rd time in a row?
Yeah, I think Beastie is just so solid with English. That's probably his civilization to take there. And then the cavalry part. I mean, FEH has done such a solid part right now with the cavalry so far. I don't see a reason for him not to be taking the Rus.
Yeah, agreed. And then on the other side, I'm 100% expecting this to be Avely on the English with Urk on the French.
Yeah, very likely to be that way. And yeah, I mean, Lipany, that's gonna be the choice here now. Usually or previously, we had like an Abbasid or a Delhi player on Lipany just because they have this really nice bonus where they gather a lot quicker from berries, and there are a lot of berries on Lipany. But other civilizations can also make use of that berries. Like civilizations that have a lot of map control inherent, those are usually civilizations that have access to feudal knights, and that's both the Rus and the French here on this one. So they're also going to make a lot of use of these berries that are out on the field.
Yeah, and of course we know that Rus on this map do not shy away from multi-TC, and French on any map do not shy away from multi-TC. So definitely a lot of kind of eco-scaling potential there. Curious to see who's going to be able to block each other out. You know, one thing I'm thinking back to, though, is the previous series we had, Louis and Yui, one of the most fantastic showings I've seen of a combo of English-French in a long time. I wonder if Avely and Urk are going to try something similar, just try to immediately park themselves. Maybe we see the opening of the men-at-arms, which, by the way, something interesting about that is it hurts the French composition more, right? If both players go Dark Age men-at-arms, the Rus player comes out better for it.
Yeah, because there is nothing to really contest with in the Rus base. They don't go out to gold. They just get the gold passively through the bounty. Now, something that you could do that I probably wouldn't recommend, but it's an option for the English player, like you go for early men-at-arms. In case your opponent also goes for early English men-at-arms, you can counter them. You can help your French player survive. And in the meantime, you use your men-at-arms in order to kill deer or wolves.
Ooh, yeah, no, I like that. That's a good play, right? Because you're not going to build more scouts. There's no way an English player is ever going to do that because you don't have stable access and you're not sacrificing villages. So it does kind of take that multi-box. And that means also, like, you can just use your scouts to head out into the mid-map instantly, right? And contest those deer stacks that would be accessible for the Rus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lipany also has a lot of deer, so a lot of bounty to be had overall, in team games especially. And Rus are such a good civilization in team games, especially the more players there are. Now, French, they tend to go for like a second scout. Their scouts are produced quite a bit faster than for other civilizations. They in general have a bonus where all their villagers and their scouts from the TC get produced quite a bit faster. Starts off at 15, no, was it 10? 15% in the Dark Age? No, 10% Dark Age, 15% Feudal Age, and then 20% Castle and 25% in the Imperial Age.
Yeah. Basically scaling to be better than Chinese eventually. So... Definitely a bullet in a wound for you there, Crackedy. I know as a Chinese man. I'm very happy as a French player.
French is in a really good spot right now. But I mean, as China, I still feel quite happy about when I face off against French at the moment.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to think, like, if you think about the change that made to French, it was just one change, right? That almost seems kind of small, a petty number, right, at 5%. But it has taken French from a dog tier civ to a god tier civ, right? It's literally flipped the word.
The thing is that ever since the big change with China, where now you're able to make your imperial officials out of your imperial academy in the feudal age, that's like been the big turning point for China. That's when they turned from like an F tier civilization into an A tier civilization. Just being able to scale the economy way better. Also getting the tax rework worked so much into their for their benefit. Being able to now take up to 80 tax out of a building just gives you so many more opportunities with like build orders and stuff like that. And right now, I think China's probably one of the best against French. Not that we're seeing that here. Gonna be seeing English here on both sides, but English, I mean, they're really special civilization with their longbows as well. And in any situation, if you get your longbows into the right position at the right time, you're able to completely flat out kill your opponent right there, like deny all the resources, and that's always what's so dangerous with the English.
As something to keep in mind, right? As a series earlier on today, we saw a player have almost the safest tree line spawns I've ever seen in my life. Yet it actually proved to be their downfall because it just meant the longbows could easily park on multiple resources and you had nowhere to run. So possible you see something similar, especially with Lipany. Lipany has been kind of a gamble. I feel like one of the 4 players at least ends up surrounded by wood lines, which usually, actually, at least from what we've seen today, seems to be a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how exactly these players are going to be opening up here. We talked about earlier if it's going to be like man-at-arm opening for both players here early on. Honestly, I'm not sure which one I would favor personally. It all depends on like where the gold spawns in the end for the French player. If it's like a forward gold, then can be quite devastating for them with the man-at-arm timing. If it's a back gold, I think French can be just fine. And if it's a back gold, I would personally like the French player to just be like, oh no, it's back gold, don't make man-at-arms, just go for normal feudal age timing.
We're going to find out in a sec. For those just tuning in, this is a best of 5 elimination. This could be the end of the road for Adley and Ook so quickly. In fact, remember, we're saying farewell to people, a lot of people in the first series. But let's hope that we can get this one a little bit longer. It's definitely delivered so far. Do not be deceived. It's not Beastie and Effie up against the wall here. It's Adley and Ook facing elimination as we hop into game number 3.
And here we go. Beastie playing the Roos here. FEH playing the English. On the opposite side, Avely on the English and Ook playing as the French here. Does look like we're not seeing a man-at-arm opening from either of the English players here so far. Oh my god, look at that one line.
Like, we talked about it. It's always one player as well. Always one that gets this. Right now, Bill is sweating. He's like, I balanced this for 1v1s.
What are you guys doing? This was not supposed to be a team game map, but there we go. And man, there are some crazy spots for potential high trade house there, as Vodka's pointing out right now.
I love the idea of like a proxy base or a full base. Also, something that's actually crazy about Blue's generation. Check Beastie's deers at the back, and that's 3 deers almost on one screen, by the way, if you go right. But I'm going to blow your mind even more. He doesn't know it yet, which is crazy. But if you now hop another deer forward, it's naturally defended. No, deer forward near the boar. Like it's completely walled in.
So many deer. Yeah, but it looks like Avely finds them, and that's going to be a lot of deer denied here from the Roos player. Hopefully, Beastie gets some more bounty out. He is on 3 scouts after all. Would be a shame if he returns home with only 80 bounty.
I can't believe the way it's played out. Right next to his own base, neither player scouts it. And he's about to find out. He'll get there maybe in time to get 1 cluster. I think maybe there's this 50 bounty gain, because you're now going to have to deal with Avely screwing you over.
Yeah, it looks like Beastie is going to get some of the bounty here. Looks like Avely could, in theory, try to deny a little bit more of the bounty. There we go. Gets that one. Oh. And that one as well. All right. And good denial there from Avely. Beastie maybe sleeping a little bit on the bounty there. And in the end, though, with 3 scouts, surely he's going to get a little bit more than 80 bounty. question is going to be how much exactly. We do see he's on 195 right now, so hasn't quite gotten past that 250 mark yet.
There's still time. I think the wolves haven't been addressed yet. And, oh, that's a very forward extension from the French. But if there's any Civ that's going to do it, it's of course going to be them. And Urk hasn't begun his tech up just yet. I think Beastie also, because he hasn't quite found that large sum bank he's looking for. He did go 3 scouts. His timing is going to be delayed a little bit more than otherwise would.
Question is, with that deer spot so far away, where is Urk going to be placing his School of Cavalry?
We've seen some players just plop it down right there. And I'm kind of okay with that because it's a cavalry building, right? So, like, it's not like when a council gets placed that far out where you can't produce units. You can still get units out of a School of Cavalry.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to deny it, but usually that's also where you want to place a keep later on. Now, it is at a nice position next to, like, the Sacred Site, so keep there would be really nice later on in the game as well. So I don't hate it. It's just quite exposed, but it seems like he is going to place it in his base.
So he pulls the sheep plus the woodworkers at home. Because that's the other thing, right? His gob was also out north side, so everything was kind of leaning towards this idea of a School of Cavalry forward.
This is a really, really late age up here from Urk, and yeah, it looks like the Beastie is even going to be aging up first.
Would you say it's quite irksome?
It's irking me quite a bit right now, that age of timing.
I know the feeling when I see French players this late to the party, especially when you know that the Roost player is going to match your timing. Now, you still have an edge, right? Because the Roost player then has to build his stables, but I feel like you're going to be half a night ahead instead of a full one.
Right. Seems like Beastie and FEH will know now about the proxy eco there. Able even donating some of his sheep over to Urk. That wood line is just so beautiful for him right now.
And what's the beauty as well is that Kremlin placement in the back of the base by Beastie. It seems meaningful because he's not on a wood line, but he should be able to get in with the influence of the TC. And the cool thing is he's now secured stone, double gold, and double deer.
Yeah, going down to the Kremlin, that is not something that you want to see. That hurts a lot.
I'm surprised as well. Like, you scouted him building it, right? Urk seemed to be distracted because he was paranoid at home, building up outpost defenses. Another weakness of playing out on the map this early, of course, is you're paranoid about everything.
Now, Beastie is starting off with 2 stables here.
I like that.
So it's not going to be a second TC. It's going to be straight aggression, and that makes so much sense here.
Mm-hmm. I love the fact that he went double stable. Some players go 1 stable, but this allows him to mitigate the lead of the School of Cavalry, right? Because, yes, usually they're 1 night ahead as the French because it's their landmark, but even if you can't sustain double stable production as a Roost player immediately, it allows you to get those first 2 out at the same pace.
It's like Urk, he's pulling away right now with his villagers. Once again, tries to go for it, but now there's the longbows and spearmen as well. It's going to be tough here for him to stay over there. Avely has also built a barracks with his console, so he's also going to be able to make some spearmen. None in queue yet, though.
Defensive is on. FE has covered the spear base, the archer base as well. It's always weird when you have to build spears against an English opponent, but fully understandable here.
Yeah, you do need to have a couple of spearmen just for knights. Your ally, he can't be with you at all times, and even if you have your ally with you, these knight charges can still be devastating. So having a couple of spearmen just for the brace against the charge is always going to be really, really helpful.
I love that highlightable point. It gives agency to Beastie here, right? That he can go and do his own thing, but definitely awkward up against longbows nonetheless. Spears turn around, nice pinch. We'll lose 1 of them, but a decent trade in terms of health for that.
Yeah, now charge is coming in though.
More spearmen on the way. Nice tank from the scout. Longbows will keep pushing back against this. Harassment elsewhere on the map as well. But FE gets out mostly unscathed.
There we go. Walls also being built right now by Beastie, just fortifying his base right now, making a couple of knights, but not too many. I'm wondering right now if Beastie is even going for an Asia potentially. He's had so many villagers on resources for knights, but he's just not producing that many right now. So I'm wondering if maybe he just produces out of 1 stable right now and looks for like an Asia behind that because he knows where there's a really good spot for his high trade house.
I agree. Like with these wolves going up like this, it almost guarantees at this phase. What else would you be doing otherwise? The only concern is it does expose FE a little bit, but the cool thing is the way that this is playing, FE pivoted aggression towards the right side of the map. So even if this tech up occurs, Beastie's laid himself there. They have to go all the way back to the west to even get a way in.
Military mass now building for both players, and the longbow mass also climbing. Beastie just called in a couple of gremlins, probably just to poke at his opponents for now. Gremlin's not going to get a whole lot of value in against the English. Some Knights not getting a kill here, but do cause some annoyance. Actually, might find some villager there.
Hesitance, though. The Knights are there to mirror them out. Although they are injured, and that's something he needs to respect. Longbow mass, of course, superior for Avali. Gremlins on the way, but they really aren't going to make the difference here. It's just too many Longbows defending.
And there are the Gremlins. Now Archer's focusing them, able to one-shot them with the amount that they are right now. FEH is trying to get an outpost up there, but this could be denied if Avali gets vision on it, on the villager. Doesn't quite have enough to one-shot these Archers yet, and
Beastie
doesn't have the numbers.
Yep, he's got the numbers to charge on in, and he knows it, so they secure the area. Want to move out Beastie. He even turns around to strike on the French Knights, and they didn't get a charge out, right? So they haven't got the bonus damage either to fight back.
Yeah, it hurts quite a bit right now, and now the numbers from Beastie actually looking really, really good, and it looks like now he's investing more and more into Knights as he knows that Urk, for some reason, he just wasn't able to keep up with the Knight numbers. Not at all. He switched into Horsemen for quite a long time.
It's the gold positioning. It's so far forward of his base. You see now he's overcompensating with that many people there. More comfortable position, and it's not going to get any more comfortable. I mean, I would not be surprised if FE has a Blacksmiths and is getting Siege Engineering.
And now he has to hide in the outpost once again. It does hurt him. It's a lot of idle time, especially on the food that he needs now that he sent so many villagers out on gold. It's so exposed for him right now. Even builds a house forward here. He's making himself at home.
This is our new settlement, guys. Eventually there'll be a town center 20 minutes from now. I mean, behind this, like Beastie, you were worried. Was he rushing castle? No, he was just on a delayed trigger here, investing into more Knights, keeping ahead of Urk by 2 at any given time. In fact, that lead is going to escalate further.
Knight numbers finally starting to look a little bit better here now for Urk. Longbowman also trying to get some of these Knights that are low HP right now. Knights losing some of their numbers.
A lot of heavily injured
ones there. A little bit better now. Yeah, this is looking quite a bit better now for Avali and Urk now. Avali has the lead when it comes to the longbows. Actually also sends a couple around there just to annoy a little bit there on the wood line. And looks like Beastie, though, he's going to loop around. Now, there are a couple of walls from Avali, but he's not fully walled in right now. So these Knights, they could find a lot of damage, and I hope Avali realizes this, or at least has something out to scout. It looks like he has a couple of units out there, so he should be aware of this maybe.
Has Avali
and needs to have his spearman
got wheelbarrow?
I'm not sure. I don't think he was able to afford it this game, and now Scout gets taken down. Doesn't mean, though, that Avali is going to be aware of this. He did get wheelbarrow, and he also got the upgrade on his farm, so this is going to be quite nice for him. He does have the eco upgrades there. He's going to scale quite nicely with that single TC.
My thoughts was Beastie getting in there, right? We've seen how catastrophic these Knights are when you forget wheelbarrow. But Avali will not skip a trick there. Can't afford to. Not in this situation where Beastie and Effie are just one game away from heading on through the quarterfinals.
There we go. Knights finding some villager kills. 1 villager, 2 villagers go down.
Just lose 1 Knight in return. We'll be able to just pivot, move out the south side of the base. You can even wrap around back towards Urks.
It's a lot of idle time on the wood, though, and that means that FEH is going to be able to pull ahead when it comes to longbow numbers. Well, at the same time, the timing.
They've got no defense on one side. They pulled everything for that southern defense.
Yeah, another villager goes down. It just hurts so much right now. Longbows need to take that scout down just in order to get some of the information back, and or at least deny some of the information.
Where's your goal?
There is none. And the villagers, they're exposed on the deer.
Oh, good lord. The pincer. He sniffs it out. Villagers have to retreat now. Urk, even if he gets out, like, he's not gathering anything but wood right now, and you cannot eat wood, despite what some weird men will try to tell you.
Yeah, and definitely hurts right now. The numbers just... They have the numbers, but they're being split on so many different positions right now. Looks like Avali finally manages to build the wall forward, so it's going to have some breathing room, but villagers have gone down plenty so far, and it feels like Beastie behind this. He can probably soon look for a tech up.
Or you can just double down. Like, the Knight Mass is building for you. Now, Longbows are going to cut off, so that's going to be a price paid for Beastie's aggression. But it's the positioning factor. It's the fact that they can afford to keep doing this. Now that they've taken momentum in the mid-map, we know who's going to run out of resources first, and it is not BC and Effie.
That's for sure. I mean, we see them right now. Wait, is that villagers or is that longbows out in front? That seems to be the longbows from FEH, also moving towards the base of Aeoli right now. Getting another outpost here, securing vision, securing map control, most importantly. And yeah, this means that the forward is very likely going to come in from that side.
You start to realize why the last game was at least initially looking better for Avli and Nurk. Beastie is doing what he does best on maps this wide. He's dancing around their bases, and they are dancing to his tune. And every time they think they've plugged a hole, a new one opens up, and Effie is there to strong-arm the assault.
Exactly. And behind that, I mean, now the army is going to be in on the wood line. Means Aeoli is completely off of wood right now. Off of gold as well, and this really hurts him right now. His economy is pretty much completely idled. He's sending his longbows towards the base of BC right now. Question is, can he get anything done there? Because it feels like he needs them at home.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you can do this play. I think you're too late. Like, mirror the timing, sure, but this is not going to be an even trade. Even if they run around now to Urk's base, they'll be in position before you arrive on the other side. Palisade. Ooh, Palisades are not up, but the Wooden Fortress is. So no breach, no bueno. The wraparound commences.
Big issue is that these longbowmen, if they get caught out by like 12 knights, then they're going to be dead. And now the spearmen also getting caught off guard here by the longbows.
That's the stinger. He just has to run by. They need to get home. Knight's trying to body block. SPC's trying to buy time for the palings, but no opportunity. Cannot do it. Effie trying to back up, but outnumbered. They may have overstayed their welcome. Urk with a firm
Beastie hitting the gold at the same time. At the same time in the north, Beastie is hitting the gold from Urk, though.
It's a heavy sacrifice, but if they can get the trade on villagers, it's worth throwing away the army here. More knights are coming. The massacre commences. No
they
safety.
Just have nowhere to run right now. They do take down the military, but behind that, so many villagers have gone down.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at military now. Sure, they're trailing, but I think about the eco lead. The fact that the Urk has been uncomfortable all time. Sure, he gets that rapid response south side, but we saw the reserves of Beastie. He has so many knights waiting.
The corner walls, they weren't deleted. The wall is not going to go up.
Again. And they'll never go up. The Palisades are not going to complete. The Wooden Fortress guarantees that. And now, look at this. Urk out of position. Could easily snipe these two knights or even the villagers.
He wants to go for another TC. But it feels like the villagers are just too open right now. Reinforcements do come in. And a scout does get picked up, so this is a good denial when it comes to information.
Now to get away. Urk. Maybe an opportunity to strike back, because he needs to do some eco damage. He's fully aware.
If he deleted the corner there at that moment in time.
Don't do it to me. Actually, do. Sounds
that
filthy.
Would have been amazing. Actually, he deleted it. He deleted it
what?
after.
Oh.
He deleted it after, and then his units couldn't follow. That is so unfortunate.
And the crazy part is, like, you can cancel it even when units are going through it, right? It's not like when you're placing a house and someone's there. Like, you can just do it. Pushback commences. Can't let this go down. Like, this Wooden Fortress is huge. 7 villagers lost here. We'll start to even this game out. But he has to let it go.
Yeah, it's going to be a big loss here, but Beastie realized that that's not a fight that he can take right now.
No, in fact, every time he kind of taps back towards it, he's just sacrificing knights here. The critical mass really has been reached. Avali, spooky with the 42 longbows.
Can they remain here? And if so, can they remain for how long? Because behind that, in the middle of the map, there's an outpost giving the network of castles over to FEH's army. And that army is quite big right now.
If you dive with Beastie here, and they run through that stealth forest, and you've palinged, because that's nasty to think about. Like, they would probably be riding into that stealth forest in the center without vision. The only person who has vision there is Effie.
Yeah, now Beastie hitting there on the middle side means that all the military has to run over, but archers, longbowmen, they're just too slow here, and that is going to go down. King's Palace going up now for Aeoli.
If that gets spotted.
At the same time, FEH also going up with the King's Palace.
Beastie's like, well, where are we going? We'll take out a few longbows, but that's going to be it. King's Palace is not going to be spotted. He has to exit quickly. Understandable. We saw the mass that Urk has scaled back into. You can't afford to throw away this many knights. It's just not worth it.
Yeah. And that it's similar knight numbers right now between our Rus and our French player.
Definitely the closest game I'd say we've had so far.
compared to the last couple of games. But now a single villager there chopping wood gets found out by the knights and gets taken down. That's an unfortunate one.
Boop. Oh, you get something out of it. Wait, is that still open down there? I hope not.
Wait, it is.
Oh my God.
It's not fully walled. Oh my God.
Well, that's a revelation.
Behind it.
And he also gets Pumbaa.
Finally, with that, he's going to be finally getting past the 250 bounty mark.
Not that big of a Marine Lord fan, so Tier 2 is going to be big for those gathering rates, of course. Tech ups have started to come out from the English players, but the cavalry composition is still going to lag behind. Does he realize?
That wall.
Does he?
I mean, he might not have realized.
Well, he never will, right? Because when he clicks past, he's going to walk through the gate. Oh, that hurts.
And now, military has been pulled to one side. At the same time, Beastie's going to pull his military to the other.
He can bait him. There's no scout
Knights
here.
have to run.
He's
High Trade House also coming in now.
This is a fight you do not want to take. The Longbows are here as well. He finally realizes that Urk
with veterancy could actually just delete the wall there and just drop an even better High Trade House right now. They have the military to stay there. Royal Institute coming in as well now.
So mirroring, but of course Royal Institute going to be a bigger deal, at least in the first clash, if you can buy enough time for the Royal Institute to get you in to the more tanky cavalry.
Exactly, but military from Urk out of position. He has to pull back. So much damage from these longbowmen right now.
It's hurting. They're not going to stop.
Take that fight.
I mean, you can't take any fight right now. You have to wait for your tech up. You have to wait for your veterancy, rather. I don't see how you take it before that.
In the next 2 minutes, they cannot take a fight. They need to wait. They do have a couple of TCs here. Maybe they can take a fight if it's under them, but even then, it feels definitely bad to take engagements right now.
And now stripping vision, the outpost. It's not about safety points for the villagers. It's about making sure they don't see anything. Longbows will get caught out a little. That's not enough.
It's 60, 70 archers right now compared to 44 for Evely.
Does he know?
The longbow number is just firmly in the lead of FEH. And he's pulling a little bit too far ahead right now with the
BC knows.
longbowman.
He sent a knight over to the back gold. He's going to deny Urk out there now. The clash on the front side. BC jumping the gun a little bit. It's like FE was disengaging. But he has found that gold vein.
Oh, that single knight. That's going to hurt a lot. Ton.
That guy should get a promotion, mate. He should be the king himself if the Rus ever needed one. Meet the Tsar.
Now all the knights move over toward that side, trying to get the villagers.
Blood in the water. They smell it. One charging is possible. You could even charge and get out because this is too open of an area for the French knights to do anything. There it is. Charge.
Oh, no, villagers.
Bye-bye.
All the villagers go down in a moment. And I mean, sure, a lot of the knights go down as well with them. But this is just such a big loss for Urk right now. Losing like 15 villagers there. Now he is on 2 TC compared to Beastie, who's only on 1 TC. But Beastie, he didn't suffer any villager losses or idle time so far.
No, he's been on point, and he understood there was going to be a price to pay, the iron price, but I'll take iron over having to pay in gold. Well, he's definitely looking golden right now. You have to remember behind this as well, Beastie is the only one who is looking to pick up relics. I say that actually, Effie as well. Only one team is playing for relics at this phase.
Evely sent 100 gold to Urk.
Big spender.
It's not much, but it's something. All right, there he goes. 500 gold now going over to Urk, and he needs it. If he wants to get Royal Bloodlines, then that is probably the only way for them back into the game. We can also see Evely making a lot of men-at-arms right now. With the Armorclad upgrade, means that the longbows barely do any damage to them. This is not... He doesn't have the upgrade yet. He can't take a fight with 2 armies
disgusting.
right now.
That is truly disgusting. The attack speed or the amount of knights you just sniped.
Yeah, it's a lot of knights that went down there. Evely, he's at a completely different position right now. I'm not sure what he's going for because the way this looks right now, BC and FEH, they could just push in.
I think they're feeling this false sense of security because Urk has those pink walls up. So it's almost like, oh yeah, we're the ones that control this segregation, but you truly don't. There's free reign to run in, just like right now. There's free reign to dive into the base. Urk in trouble, and Avely's army at least a minute away.
Yeah,
that's right.
Away right now. Time. Oh no, this is the worst moment for that right now.
Well, it's you know what it is. It's the sense that Avely and Urk are flatlining. You can definitely feel it right now. In fact, I'm gonna executive decision quickly. Wait, no, there you go. It's time travel right now. Oh my God, they're so fast. They found the villages again. No gold, no way for Ook to keep scaling. And now the cutoff of Knights as well.
Oh no, that hurts. That hurts so much. Villagers do get rescued right now, though.
It's the Longbows again, man. I mean, he's held hostage.
Yeah.
Avali's still not here, by the way. He's still been running this
Where
whole
is
time.
he? He's running around. He might encircle them. But now they're just gonna run past, and Avali, he went by.
Oh,
what is Avali doing? Oh my god, no, this is so bad right now.
He's trying to trade, but if I'm Beastie and Effie, I'm just going south now, and you can't stop us. Oh my god, he's trying to trade. Like, if there's a second layer of Palisades, he's never getting in.
Yeah, this is hurting so much. I mean, there are 30-minute arms right now, which is quite nice, but FEH, she's already prepared 20 crossbowmen behind that. And more villagers go down.
How?
Oh my god.
Every time, Ook.
Just go on the opposite side of the map at this point.
Truly, like, there's nothing down there. Like, I'm looking at this. Oh, you have to go out your base. They truly have limited their gold capacity.
Or drop a keep somewhere. They need to do something there. Drop a keep on a gold and then go for it. But right now, it just hurts them so much. Actually, this round.
Finally. Oh, finally not. Like, they did get round the back right now. Just get round the back.
Please. Oh, God.
The pinch. Ook, he has surrounded him now, so he's body blocked out. He can't retreat anymore. He's just going to have to take what he can as he gets cut down.
Yeah, it's a lot of the Longbows finally going down.
Beastie.
He's raiding.
Beastie Kitty, because he's on the rise. He's deep in the economy, idling them out and also chopping into both bases at the same time. Second wave as well.
Oh, God.
Oh, my.
Oh, that's
Where
a
did he
big
get
second
these?
wave. From downtown, it looks, and all the farming economy from Avali is completely idled out right now. Getting a keep up in the middle of the map, but that's... It's going to secure some resources here, but the bases from them
If Beastie's Knights go in, okay, he's going to decide to not take the bait. There was about 30 woodliners waiting to be flatlined there. They show respect, but not too much. Effie says,
oh god,
look at what I got.
Try in the middle.
In the stealth forest.
That is going to hurt. In the stealth forest. That's a lot of control over the resource in the middle. And the sacred sites especially.
I'm worried here because they've been leaning towards those sacred sites. It's just the eastern one they haven't been able to secure so far. The other two are just thumbs up, right? There's no way you play out towards them. You saw what happened when Avali tried to do that. It made it impossible to defend.
Oh, the units right now. I mean, I really like the amount of men-at-arms that Avali has. They're going to be so tanky against all the Longbowmen from FEH. The issue is that with the Berkshire Palace coming up here, it's just got to split the map in half, and you cannot go past it right now. It just gets so much map control. And once again, just 3 knights looking for the gold, and they're going to find it as well, probably.
Flash on the front side, men-at-arms, the good beefcakes here, but the Berkshire is going up. And that's the problem. Baited into it. Now you need to get the hell out. That's going to cost you. Whew.
Yeah, have to run. Just does so much damage. 10 villagers inside it immediately.
Nice in your base. They're hitting into Pink's woodlines here. Like everything. Ook's entire army is defending the front line here. Who's defending Mummy and your children at home?
He's not getting anything down in the front as well. He's just losing his knights right now. That's
what's
a lot
going
of
on?
crossbows. Come back. Fall back.
That's the
now he does.
entire French army dead. 14 left. That's it.
God, this hurts a lot right now.
I just can't with that landmark.
Avali has a really large army. It just feels like most of the time it's been out of position so far in this game. Now he's getting some trebuchets out in order to push back
He's still
this,
reaching them. Look.
It's so long. The rage.
Oh like,
no.
Is LeBron in that thing? Just
he's dunking on them right now.
I mean, this is Sparta javelin throws if I've ever seen them. This is just ludicrous. The restriction is finally in place. Now, just as we began this series, we potentially end it the same way. Sacred Site timer has been initiated.
Once again, I can only say I really like the army here from Avali. It's just not where it needs to be right now, and he's also kind of leaving his trebuchets unprotected right now.
Uh-oh. This looks like a fight you won? I'm not sure it is, because the knights are now here.
And also a lot of the archers are just hitting the house.
Oh, man. And also, now they've both got the... Look at the glow. Half the army for Avali was not in range. He'll get to start a step back to a defensive position, but price already paid here, my friend.
Yeah, lots of the men-at-arms went down. FEH sends 1,000 food over to BC, so BC is probably going to be able to H up soon as well here.
And these guys really have kind of synced up beautifully. You think about how FB just had to be the doormat in the last game. Now, he gets to lead the way. It's almost like BC says, "Sir, allow me. After you." Always one step ahead as Effie just gets to shine bright like an exterminatus. And that is going to be exactly that. The siege moving on to the keep. That's not going to hold for long. The trebuchets taken down is terrible in this situation because once you lose this frontal position, it feels all over. In fact, look at Orc, the idle eco as well. He's ran out of gold.
Yeah, no gold now. He is the English, but he's not an Imperial Age, so there's not going to be enclosures for him. And with that, they've been completely choked out from resources on the map. Villagers idled there in the middle of the map. BC also dropping a keep there on the gold on the top side. And with that, there's just no resource available for them. I don't think they even have the resource they need to go up to the next age.
No, they're trying counter raids. They're trying to get through the walls on the other side, but BC feeling impenetrable at this stage. Speaking of BC, FE is going to send in more trinkets, another 500 gold. And that is your counter-offensive, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, was your counter-offensive. Watch what happens, because those are Castle Age Gremlins.
Yeah, Castle Age Gremlins. They're still not gonna be too effective here.
Get out of here!
But against the Knights, that's where they shine. And I mean, they are Royal Bloodline Knights.
Oh, well, apparently one wave is not good enough. BC wants to indulge us.
Oh, that's another one. Oh god, that's a lot. He really wants to push it on that side. And he can. Oh, he's taking the fight.
Is this a fake bag? Oh, that one Knight snitch, though, that's big. If they didn't know about that and they ran into... Well, he's going to run into it anyway, Urk.
Urk is ballsy. He goes for it. Even if he knows what's happening.
Those balls are going to get clipped. I wouldn't advise this any day of the week. Now the castle's going up. And you saw that Urk, he saw that as his only recovery point. He's hard on the stone on the south side. Trying to get a nice little Magano line going, but where? Where do you build it in this game that saves you?
I mean, the Sacred side was decapped, so it buys him a little bit of time here, but the thing is, where do you want to go from here? Avely is still not in Imperial Age, and doesn't look like he's going to get to Imperial Age anytime soon, but he really needs to. He needs enclosures, he needs the upgrades on his Longbowmen, and on his Men-at-Arms as well, especially, but behind this FEH, he has enclosures, he has a lot of farms going for him right now. His economy is really good, he's even able to support Beastie with it as well.
It feels like the time is nigh. Do or die. Like Effie, for the time being, you've kept him away from PopCap. You can't afford the tech up. I genuinely think if Avely tries to tech up, now he loses the game. In fact, this is a critical fight. Needs to block out the keep from being constructed. That distraction, that force on the side, stabbing away at him, and look at who's arrived again. Berkshire is back to play.
I mean, even the Men-at-Arms, with all their bonus armor, they just stand no match against the Berkshire arrows.
I mean, it's like you're being motorboated by a bunch of arrows right now. It's not fun. Keep is going to be cancelled to at least stop them from getting a further foothold forward. This Trebuchet is just bluntly standing there and hitting into the base. There's no answer to it.
And now there's going to be a ton of Spearmen coming out there on the top side from Beastie, and the army from Avely is just... That could be the answer to what Beastie has at the top side, but it's just the positioning, right?
What army?
It's so slow, you can't go up there.
But what army? Is like those numbers got diminished. I don't like the look of it anymore.
Yeah, the couple of Longbowmen, the couple of people with like their sticks and strings attached to them.
Ah, you mean the villagers? The village, very, very sizable force from the English. No, this is the type of dive that could lose Orc everything. With the damage.
Yeah, but like, you kind of have to do something here, right? He does have the Royal Bloodlines. He needs to get something in here, and he is going for the fight.
You're getting baited.
It looks like Avely sending units over there, but...
It's double keep. Like, it's double keep on one of them Berkshire. How many knights just went down there? When I last looked, I think...
India arrows as well.
Insane. Like, I think he had 34 knights before he even reached this fight. So in total, he must have lost at least 10, considering the reproduction.
God, and now Beastie is further pushing into Urk space. Now, there is a keep there, but he's just going to run past it.
There's also a transition underway.
And a keep goes up there. That's GG.
Oh, that has
no more gold. There is no gold excess.
I think, yeah, Beastie's got the tech up as well.
Aging up.
This is it.
Spasskaya Tower.
There's no way back now. Like, once they see that tech up, I wouldn't be surprised they just wave that white flag. They've already got issues in their economy with these knights still leaking through. Also, you're seeing a spearman transition out of Beastie. That's going to counter this mass knight strategy entirely. I can't see a way. I crack it. I think it's going to be another 3-0.
It is. It is definitely. There's no way back here now for the team Avely and Urk, and This is just looking so clean right now from Beastie and FEH.
I feel like we've been here before. I just keep seeing this deja vu every time. Every time Beastie gets further ahead. It's about to complete. Spitskaya Tower is up. Now, I expect Avali and Ook to keep fighting because this is their last chance, their last hurrah. But it feels like last is appropriate here.
And the Rams going forward. Both enemies now in Imperial Age. Avali and Urk, they do have more military units out on the field, but the quality just not there. And behind that, BC and FEH have a way stronger economy as well.
And the hand cannoneers that have been laid in as well. So fearful, even in small quantities, because men-at-arms take too long to gap close. Rams still proving a nuisance. Wall of Lows to push back. It looks like Ook went for the all-in. Staggered Wall of Lows. Fe just carousing him like he's the sheepdog. But now the sheep have grown teeth. They're going to look to emerge into the base. Hand cannoneers are being spawned at home, so they can slowly try to cut through these, but it looks like it's going to be a counter-attack, an attempt by Beastie to return the favor to the French.
Mass Spearmen and Knights, that's just not something that Urk can deal with right now. And his Knights, they're not getting value, and they're hitting houses and lumber camps.
What? Get out of here. That's not what they need. They need to get deep. They need to find some high value, like a tree line. Because these farms, it feels good to shut them down, sure, but less clustered, right? Less villages to instantly strike on. Not just that, the biggest strike is coming this way. You can see Beastie's making his way through the maze, but Takeshi's castle will only save you so long. Keep not going to go up. There's no way. More villages
being
pulled.
Value here getting gathered by Urk, and yeah, he's killing a lot of villagers right there.
I think
and at the same time, Avali gets a mass ram push going in the middle.
Oh, Evie! One villager left. He won't complete it. Oh. The army doesn't catch up either. This is catastrophic. Ook keeps the raid going.
Some really good raids here right now. From Urk kills a lot of villagers. Now also goes into Beastie space, and that's going to be quite annoying for Beastie considering that he wants to push in right now.
Meanwhile, Berkshire under assault, like you highlight. The Rams showing their power. It seems like Effie has been stretched a bit too thin. Has to defend and somehow defend foreign territory simultaneously. Last of the Knights looking like they should get cleaned up. A price highly paid for Urk, but it was the only thing they could do when they are both an age behind.
The Berkshire takes so long to take down. The Rams have been on that for ages. Now finally gets taken down, but...
Oh, look at the military. Look at the military numbers now. You talked about that edge they had. They just threw it away.
All the eco units that they killed from BC and FEH just got replaced by military, and the push is coming in, and there's just no way for them right now to defend against the push from Beastie.
No, and we have to keep in mind there's something very fabulous in the hands of those Roost Knights. They just got the +4 damage. So kind of evening up to the damage output of the French Knights somewhat problematic. Just a few can wreak havoc in your economy. Now, in fairness, Effie started this with the Rams, all right? So it's kind of karma.
This is a long game right now, but Avali and Urk, surely they must know their position in the game right now. They are still far away from Castle Age, and they have no more gold access at all.
Yeah, and they've lost more ground. Like, look at this new keep, this fresh keep from Beastie. It keeps getting closer and closer. Now, this one, like, I guarantee there's a push coming with those Rams. That keeps gone. Sacred Site is completely incontrollable for you. Even yoinking the gold. Beastie does not skip a beat.
Immediately takes that. It's so demoralizing when you see that your opponent's taking your gold right in front of your eyes.
All in all, it's going to make this dive hard, but the Spearmen, remember, those are elites. Urk, even though he's got the raw bloodlines, it's still just Castle Age Knights. This will sting. More villages being pulled. He knows this. You can see this is the crucible upon which he sits. If this castle goes down, it's all downhill from here. Berkshire, speaking of castles, in the meantime, being repaired. Keep down to half HP. The Rams are just too strong here. There's no way he can match up against this. And he's ran out of stone. Urk is going to open the floodgates. There's no way he can keep Beastie back. GG gets called. It is a clean kick to the gonads and a 3-0 win for Beastie and FEH.
There we go, 3-0. Team Beefy against Team Urkly, and that was really, really well played by them. Every single game, it just looked really clean. And the second one looked like Avali and Urk had a really good chance. It just was so tough. I think like the last two games were really close for the teams. The first one was quite in favor of BC and FEH, the way it played. But here in the last one, it's just unfortunate they just weren't able to get control over the golds, and Erk, he was just lacking in gold the entire time.
I mean, we saw it from the generation early. We actually gave a little hint going into this. So far today, safe defensive generations of Lippany, ones where the wood surrounds your base, have not boded well. Every time a player has got that spawn, their team has lost. The pattern continues here because you saw the impact, especially for a French player. You mentioned those gold veins. They were pushed further forward. All this wood is safe, but you're in a team game as a French player. Why do you ever want wood?
Yeah, that's the question, right? I mean, it's also that Erk, he just always went back to the same gold spot time and time again, and BC just kept going there with his knights, killing villagers over and over again. I was quite surprised that Erk actually managed to still like make a reasonable amount of villagers behind that. He did go onto the second TC, and he did manage to get his eco into a reasonable position there, after all. But just like at one point, send villagers over to the other side of the map, like my 1 to 2 outposts there, you're gonna have way less trouble. Or just even at the site that he was, there were no outposts the entire time. The gold was always exposed, not even behind walls the entire time, and that just hurts you so much when the night raids come in.
Absolutely. Like it was honestly just a dance back and forth, and I think the key moment for me where this game got completely out of control for them, you know, it was trending that way, but it's when Avali tried to go on the offensive on the west side. The moment that happened and they saw it, you called it. They don't need to react to it. They immediately dove the right side and just kept the pattern going. The only difference this time is previously Avali was close enough to defend. That time, he was, what, minute and a half out from a fight? Just too far.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, just when these fight happens and the team just wasn't there with their military where they needed to be, and then at those times, BC and FEH always took like really, really good trades there, and yeah, just really, really tough for them, for Avali and Erk to come back from that position, right? There was so much idle time forced. They did a great job at it, at like still having like a leg in that game with that reboom coming in with that second TC. Really nicely played from them there. But in the end, like Beastie, he just managed to pull it off, like an FEH, just brilliant support there with the English, just aging up there with the Berkshire in the middle, taking so much map control and just completely starving the opponents off of gold.